we got a special guest, Curtis, here today. I forgot to check if Curtis mic work. Curtis, make sure your mic work.
Oh, it's good. It's good.
Okay, yeah, your shit working. Your shit working. All right, I'm just making sure it work on the thing. But this is QnCOLB. Yeah, we gonna talk about Cat, y'all. We gonna get the Cat. I promise you. We gonna get the Cat. We gonna get to these banker jokes, all of this stuff. We gonna get to. But the first thing that I have listed out is, well, let's just talk about Cat, man. Let's get it out the way, man. Let's.
Hey, people requested this, bro. People requested this. They wanted to slant.
We was gonna talk about the Ravens and Chiefs and everything. Nah, we talk about Cat. All right. Cole, set us up, man. Set us up. Tell the people who might not know why it is that we try to talk about this right now.
All right. So last night, the 18th anniversary of when Kobe Bryant scored 81 points.
Shout out Kobe.
Shout out me.
Yeah, me.
Joel and
wow, Laker fan making this about Kobe.
Dude, hey, look, man, it's the anniversary. It is what it is. But Joel scored 70.
Anniversary? So like 81 backwards?
Are you done?
That's poetic.
Anyway, Joel Embiid scored 70 points. And we was all happy. We was like, yeah, man, good for Joel. He broke Wilt Chamberlain's record for the team for the 76ers. We was like, good for
Joel.
Cooking.
Cooking. They won?
Same time. And they won. Wemby got his first welcome to the league moment. He had 30, but when the other dude gets 70, what can you do? What can you do?
Plus minus wasn't great.
He can't even do the I hoop. Like, nah, man. Bro got 70.
He had to do the Pat Bev. The Pat Bev at the press. I promise you, we tried. Pat Bev, Lou Williams. We did everything. I promise you, dog.
But what's crazy is you would think like a player gets 70 is just insane in and of itself. At the same time, we checking the other scores. Cat got like 45 at halftime. He got like 55
Cat
at
Joel,
the three.
They're rivals, right?
I wouldn't say they rivals, but you
they got a little animosity.
Maybe a little bit, but we like, dang, two people might get 70 in the same night. That's like history. That's crazy. Yeah. So I flip. I don't watch too many Timberwolves games, but I'm gonna tune in for this Cat hooping. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tune in. Fourth quarter comes along.
Oh yeah.
Cat got like 62, so he probably it's cut towards the end of the quarter. So he not gonna get 70, but he got a 60 ball. You know what I'm saying? I watched. Chris Finch is the head coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves.
The 1 seed Timberwolves, right?
Who are down to the Charlotte Hornets, even though Cat has 62. And you know what he does?
Excuse me? Wait. What?
Karl Anthony Towns has 62 points, and they are losing to the Charlotte Hornets.
So you're telling me Karl Anthony Towns is doing something statistically impressive, but only to Karl Anthony Towns? Like, is that what you're telling me right now? That Karl Towns was out here balling and they losing?
Yeah, losing to the Charlotte Hornets. I don't even think the Hornets are in the play-in in the East right now. I don't even think they're a play-in team.
They're a lottery team.
Yeah, they're a lottery team. They're bad.
Yeah,
I
think the Cavs beat them by like 20 a couple weeks ago.
I'm pretty sure they did. He benched Cat at the end of the game because they needed to get a stop. And they were going to lose. They were going to lose the game.
He benched Cat because they needed to get a stop.
Had to get a stop. Had to bench him. The man was 62 points.
Cat is the most 7 foot for no fucking reason ass man I've ever seen in my life. You big for no reason, dog. Like, don't that when you hoop at the rec and you get a big man who just ain't doing none of the big man shit. Don't that make you the most furious that you can ever be on a basketball court? It's like you are 6'6" at this fucking rec where everybody else 5'10" max, and you not getting no rebounds. That's Cat. And Cat was getting rebounds. I think he had 15 of them bitches.
You know what's crazy though? They had
He's a liability. Oh, they had an opportunity to tie.
They had an opportunity to tie the game. So they gave the ball to Cat. He was on the block. He tried to turn around. They to be fair, I'm pretty sure they fouled the shit out of him. But they just blocked it. I was like, bro, this is so unfair. This is so unfair to Cat.
The chat saying he shot the lead away. Oh no! Oh, Cat. I looked at that box score. I'm like, he went 10 of 15 from 3. Damn.
Hey, you know what's crazy? And we was talking about it before we came on. How you got 62 and your plus minus at the game is 0?
Hey, chat is on his ass. My guy Adam said he had an NBA record 44 points in the first half and shot them out the fucking game.
Hey Q, you know what I said after that game was over? I was like, this is how NBA Twitter narratives stick. Shit like that.
Mm-hmm. Stuff like this is why I was like, Justin Herbert is NFL Cat. Like NFL Carl Anthony Towns. Like, it's stuff, because what did you expect something like this for the Chargers? That's who the Chargers were this year. They were classic Cat. Like, classic Cat. Like, there was a part of all of us when we saw that Cat had 44 in the first half, and we all kind of knew, how's Cat going to make us not respect this? Like, how's Cat going to make us find a way not to respect this amazing athletic performance he's going to do? And he found a way. Like, that's the thing about Cat. Cat can do some impressive stuff, and you still not going to take it serious because he's Cat. He going to do some shit. But yeah, that makes sense. Cole, would you describe 63 points and having to get taken out because your team has a better chance when you win it on the bench? Would you describe that as pretty much like poetic to Cat's whole career?
It's so crazy, bro, because it's like he's not a bad player at all, bro. He is not bad. Like, he's really not bad. He's actually really talented offensively. It's just that, like,
one of the most talented offensive players of our generation.
Like, he's probably the best shooting big in the league. Not even probably, he is the best shooting big in the league.
According to Carl Towns.
Yeah, he shouldn't have said that. But
hey, who you know at 7'1" splatting 10 threes. Also, who you know at 7'1" shooting 15 threes, dog. 15.
He be hitting though. He be hitting though.
You know, man.
Hey.
He be hitting though.
You 15 threes.
He hit 10.
And on one hand, it's impressive that he got to 10 makes. It is. It's really impressive. On the other hand, it should never happen that a man his size should shoot 15 of the most. Like 15? That's nuts. That's nuts. That's why he gotta get taken off the court.
You gotta think about it. He plays with Rudy Gobert, so he's gonna be on the perimeter a lot. They need the space.
Why does he play with Rudy Gobert, Cole? We don't ever answer that question. Why does he play with Rudy Gobert? It's not like it just happened to him. Why does he have to play with Rudy Gobert?
Somebody got to play defense, bro.
He is the most useless 7-footer of all time. He would literally be a better player if he was 6'5". Like, he's the only NBA player you would say, hey, if he were smaller, he'd be better. It's Carl Towns. Because the thing about Carl Towns, he big as shit. And he can't do none of the biggest shit. Like, he can't. They posted him up on that block trying to get an easy bucket one time with a splat. Couldn't finish through contact. That's Cat. That's Cat right there. Hey, can't guard. You got 2 7-footers and you got to bench one of them to guard the rim. That's nuts. That's nuts. That's absolutely insane. But that's Cat. That's Cat. The most has there ever been a player in NBA history you're like, yo, they would be much better if they were smaller? Like you look at Cat. Like if Cat were a 2-guard, it would make sense. Like
They would be better if they're smaller.
I ain't never looked at Shaq and been like, damn, man, what if Shaq was 6'5"?
Honestly, dog, I can't think of any. On top of my head,
you got anybody who's ever made you feel like, hey, dog, he need to give this height to somebody? Like, you know who needs this height? PJ Tucker. Give them extra 5 inches to PJ Tucker so we can get going. Like,
whoa.
That's why we can't do the show live no more, man. That's why we can't do the show live no more.
Hey, chat, that wasn't crazy. That wasn't crazy.
I'm just talking about basketball.
Yeah, let's not start talking about Charles Barkley. Don't get real wild.
Hey, if Charles Barkley were 7 foot, he'd have a ring. All I'm saying, dog. Oh, Carl Anthony Towns is everything Charles Barkley is not and does not stand. Like, I want to know what Charles Barkley says in between the commercial breaks about Cat. I know him and Shaq be having some crazy conversations about
him. Cracking on him crazy.
Hey, Charles, when it comes to guys I know couldn't play in my era, Carl, Cat, we would have got that handle. What? Like they be talking all kind of crazy shit. He's just soft.
You know, Chuck could be like, Chuck just be laughing. What you say, Shaq?
Cat would have got benched in the 90s so fast. Like he would have took 1-3 off the fucking court, dog. Like, get him off the court. Dog.
Oh man.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Lord.
But yes, he's a waste of height. And as a man who is not the tallest, I look at him as a disgrace. That's why I don't like Cat so much. I'm like, dog, you got all this height and you trying to kick it like me? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Damn. Out here.
Oh,
Hooping like Kyrie. Like at 7 foot 2. What is this, Cat? What is it? Why are you shooting like Klay Thompson? Like,
oh man.
tell me who you respect least, Cat or somebody you play a basketball with that shoots a 3 and shouts Cat as they shoot the 3. Like, what if you ran into a Cat stand in real life?
Let's be real. Nobody's shouting out Cat when they shoot.
I'm pretty sure there's some soft tall kid. No, there's some soft tall kid in Minnesota that's out there playing rec basketball at Lifetime Fitness, and he's like Cat every time he shoots a 3.
Nobody's.
I bet you. I bet you.
No, I don't think. No way. There's no way.
Damn, man.
No
So
way.
you saying Cat one of the ones that Jalen Rose was talking about in that documentary?
Hey man, we gotta talk about something else. we can literally.
Hey, you don't know what I'm talking about? Search Jalen Rose Duke. Okay.
Hey, B-A-N.
Oh,
If you don't know what BAN is, chat, just look it up on Urban Dictionary.
What do you mean? That's from the TV show Atlanta. It's the Black American Network. Hey, dog. That's nuts. He got 63 points, still can't get no respect. Like, what else can Cat do? This is why I wonder. What else can Cat do that we would not respect him for? Because he got 63 points, and we like, yeah, but he had a neutral plus minus. It's crazy, dog.
Bro, it's like, you know how hard it is to have a neutral plus minus when you got, bro, if you get 40, your plus minus should be crazy.
It ain't like I would understand if like this happened and Joel was on the other team and went for 70. Nah. He got a neutral plus minus off the combined efforts of Miles Bridges, a rookie,
Brandon Miller,
and some named PJ. Okay, like that's the front court that abused Cat, by the way. There were no centers in that description. It was all scoring fours. Like maybe Bridges is more of a big, but none of those. Like my man played point guard at Alabama, man. Like Brandon Miller. And that was still too much for Cat. Dog.
His coach low-key called him a stat pattern at the end of the game. He's like, we just can't play. We can't play that brand of basketball.
Hey, no, this don't make no sense. How big is Brandon Miller? He's like 6'8" and like 200 pounds, right? Like he's not
probably
very big.
6'8", probably like 215.
Yeah, around that height.
Okay, so 6'8", 215. Yeah, that's what we have here. Okay, 6'7". 6'7". How big is Cat? Like Cat is 7 foot, 280. How does he defend? He is like, how is he such a good offensive player, but then on defense he turns into Robin Lopez? Like I don't understand this shit, dog.
Oh,
and then the most flagrant thing was that people were like putting out that tweet of Magic Johnson talking about the Olympic team practice, and he's like, after Joel got that 70, Carl, you better get him back. Oh my God.
Oh shit.
Hey man. Man, shout out to Quincy Isaiah who played Magic Johnson on Winning Time, because he has the same, like, don't you be watching like, yeah, that's he got that same just a Magic face on like all the time. He's like, shit be going wrong. He be like, ooh, don't nobody look more perplexed when the mood gets bad than Magic Johnson in real life and on that show. Like that is nuts to me. Like he nailed that. Oh, that's the greatest acting performance I've ever seen. He got the Magic like, oh, y'all not happy right now? Face on? Like I haven't seen that since he left the Lakers. Oh man.
Yeah, you know it's crazy. You know it's crazy when people wanted us to talk about Cat first.
They say ESPN put out a graphic that was saying Cat versus Brandon Miller.
Come on, bro.
Hey,
and Brandon Miller won.
Brandon Miller won. We out here more impressed with the 27 points that Brandon Miller got instead of your 62. Hey, shout out to Cat, man.
You can't shout out that man after everything we just said.
Hey, no, because you know what, man? It's the middle of January. The Browns already been eliminated. We try to find things to talk about on this show. And you know who always comes through? Cat. Like, always. We need some shit to talk about. Here come Cat. All right. That's who I like.
Hey, but since we're talking about basketball, real quick. We got to talk about it. Why the hell is Tristan Thompson taking PEDs to play 14 minutes a game?
Hey, it's been the best 14 minutes he's given the team since 2016, dog. That's why.
You know what the crazy thing is during that Paris game when he got into the altercation with, I think it was Cam Thomas, and I saw him bump into Cam Thomas, and Cam Thomas folded. I'm like, that don't look like Tristan, man. Like, there's no way. The way that he
a little aggressive.
Him, like,
He's so aggressive for it, man.
He like, damn, man, I ain't never seen Tristan like this. Like, hey, you know what, Tristan? And when you get back, lay low for a little bit. But if we play the Knicks again, brother, you gonna have to get back on that SARS or whatever the fuck you was out here.
I'm like, what is SARM? What is SARM? What does that even mean?
I thought he had coronavirus. I was like, damn. They still enforce a protocol like that? 25 games? That's nuts. Where's Aaron Rodgers when you need him?
Come on, man. Come on, dog.
But yeah, man. Tristan got caught.
Bro,
that is some designer stuff, dog. Like, hey, he on that doo-doo.
he taking PEDs to shoot 4 baby hooks a game.
Hey, man. Hey, no. He get the 4 rebounds too now. Okay, he get the 4 rebounds. He be boxing out.
I'm like, bro, what is this? What is this?
Hey, man, he got to stay in the league. That is a man who realized he was one bad season away from being a permanent member of Keeping It with the Kardashians, where the fuck that show is called now. Like, he was one from having his own reality show. He was like, I got to stay in the league at least for a moment, man. Cleveland, the best place to make it work. He put in them calls, man. And look, shout out to Tristan, because he ain't get caught doing some regular shit. He got caught doing like what I would assume is the designer of steroids, right? Like that's not no shit you could just get at the mall. Like, dog, like you gotta know some people. I bet he had to go to Germany to get that illegal shit. Like, that don't seem like no regular stuff. Like,
man, he just, he probably just hit up a former teammate. You know what I'm saying? He probably just hit up a former teammate. Get the plug. He, had to get in contact
never
with the
played
plug.
with Kobe.
You know who he did play with?
De'Aaron Fox.
Anyway, Baker Mayfield.
Oh, man.
We're not going to do that.
Oh, wait. They said Terry Rozier only had 11 against Cat and got traded. You only got 11 against Cat? Get the fuck out of here, dog. You sorry. Even for the Hornets. Like,
tipped it straight up to Miami. That's crazy. Way better situation.
I want to know what that shit talk sounded like when Cat was going off. Like, we talk about Pat Mahomes having some of the funniest sounding shit talk of all time. But we know Carl was in there like, yeah, I'm like that. Get off of me. Too small.
Hey, you think he called himself Big Purr? You think he called himself Big Purr?
He called himself Big Kitty. Big Kitty go purr every time he shoot. No.
Oh, man.
Oh, no. Oh. Hey, man. Cat. How is Cat this supposed to be in some way the success of the KG? Like, how did the same franchise that gave us Kevin Garnett give us Karl Anthony Towns? And I remind you, there was a point in time where Kevin Garnett was a part of that franchise while Cat was on the fucking team. Like, and I really just crazy? Need to know what those interactions were like.
You know what's really crazy? If you look at the top scoring performances in Timberwolves history, Cat has like the top 3.
He's erasing Kevin Garnett's legacy. We gonna talk about Kevin Garnett as if he didn't score points because of Cat. Like, hey, I bet Kevin Garnett, when he was working with the Timberwolves at the end of his career, was going into that front office like, I don't understand these new dudes, man. I don't understand these new dudes. You got Andrew Wiggins and Cat around me all the time. Like, nah, man. And then Jimmy got there, and Jimmy was like, these new dudes are incredible athletes. Oh my goodness. Look at how they can score. We gonna be nice. And what Jeff Teague say 3 days into that shit, he was like, man, these new dudes suck. Like, I need the ball. Oh man. Damn, Cat. Appreciate you, man. That was a good way to start out the podcast. You know what I mean? Like some nice cat slander, like good barbecue. Like it's just you can't have it every day, right? You can't have it every day, but boy, oh boy, when you get it, it's good. And it's had all the sides, fixes. Oh yes, this was thank you, Cat. And like shout out to Joel for making this even funnier because like Joel and B got 70 points and nothing but respect. Like even though we know the Sixers about to fold in the second round of the playoffs, like we know this shit. So Colb, I gotta ask you a question.
Oh, here we go.
What's the bigger rivalry? The Bills versus the second round, or the 76ers versus the second round? Because it damn sure ain't the Bills and Chiefs, because the Chiefs always win it when it matters. But you know who don't ever win against the second round? The Bills. Okay? Like, does this cement it? This was the Bills' best chance to get out the second round, and they didn't do it. To me, it's over with. Like, it's over with taking the Bills seriously. Even if they do get past the second round, I'm like, nah, something gonna happen. That's where I'm at with the Bills.
It's over with because they got a massive cap hit from their quarterback all the way. So like this season was their best shot to try to make something happen.
Yeah, you got a point there because after that game was over with, I'm thinking to myself, hey man, you can't run it back with this group, considering the fact that you could have easily beaten this Chiefs team. This Chiefs team was not nearly as good as they've been in previous years. Their offense is just Pat Mahomes, Pacheco, Kelsey, and Rashee Rice, and you couldn't beat them. And
MVS was balling in this one too.
Don't even put that man in that conversation. Hey, anyway,
catching that ball.
Finally.
He was saving it for the playoffs. That's what he was doing. I told you, dog. Like, they gonna get it right. They gonna get it right. Like, they gonna start looking like the Chiefs again in due time. Like,
I'm hoping that doesn't happen. But if you're Buffalo, you have to like think like extensively. Like, you can't run it back with this group because if you do, do you have any confidence in this group actually going forward? Because you have 3 players with huge cap hits. Von Miller, I don't know why they gave him that big deal to begin with. He was virtually non-existent, and I think it was the same after his ACL.
When Von Miller walked onto that field, I was like, "Oh shit, he not hurt for the year." I thought he was out for the season.
I forgot he was there. They posted his stats for the year, and I was like, "Man, don't nobody said people be treating Myles Garrett like he did what Von Miller did this season. Like he had no sacks. I think he had like 14 tackles or something crazy.
He's played all year.
I think he was
not all year, but like he's played enough where he shouldn't have those stats.
Damn.
It's just when I watched him, it was like, man, he doesn't look healthy. He looks kind of washed, but
he's pretty old.
Yeah, he is old. He's like in his mid-30s. But that was probably the one time they could have beaten the Chiefs. That was their year to beat them. Because look, if you can't beat them at their worst, you're probably not going to beat them at all. You can't. So, that was probably the most sobering fact for most Bills fans. I'm like, hey man, we might just be ass and we can't beat the Chiefs if they're like this. Like, it's probably the worst feeling in the world, honestly. They can't even live that down.
Cole, when did the Clippers realize they were never getting out the second round? Like, what year was it where the Clippers were like, you know what, dog, we never doing it? What year? What attempt was that? Was that attempt 5?
Man, I don't want to compare them to the Clippers because we know who the Clippers are in the NFL. It's the Chargers. So I don't want to compare them to the Clippers. They kind of remind me of
the 76ers.
Honestly, I think
because if the 76ers do that same shit this year, it's done. Joe's gone, everybody gone.
Yeah, like they remind me of the 76ers.
Yeah, they're the 76ers. They can't get out the second round. They can't do it. And now it's a fucking thing. Like, that's the thing now. Now it's a thing. Because last year you got dismantled by Cincinnati, who we didn't even think looked that good in the first round of the playoffs because they barely beat Tyler Huntley, right? Okay, so you get dismantled by them. By the way, at home last year, you get beat by the Chiefs because you choke at home this year. You lost to the Chiefs because you choked in Arrowhead 2 years before that. Well, when the fuck are we supposed to take this team serious? Like, what indicates that Buffalo's gonna get to the third round of this playoffs? When Joe Burrow's back? Like, look, what's gonna happen next year? CJ Stroud's gonna have another year under his belt. Joe Burrow's gonna be back. The Browns are gonna have Nick Chubb and maybe some stability at quarterback too. Like, what is left for the Buffalo Bills? And Stephon Diggs been wanting to go since yesterday.
Hey, man, that's the biggest thing because, hey, you remember what Josh was looking like before Stephon got there?
Now, look, I would think that some of that Josh has improved, but yeah, it's not going to look great because you're not about to get another Stephon Diggs unless you just pluck Justin Jefferson out and do the same shit. But it looks like it's done for them. Like, this was their best chance. This was their absolute best. You're the 2 seed. You're playing the weakest Kansas City team that I've been told has no shot to repeat or do anything that they have done before. So, like, this is it. This is it served on a golden plate. This was the equivalent. And I know that the Chargers are the Clippers, but this was the equivalent of when the Clippers blew that 3-1 lead, where it was like, you know what, dog, it's over. I don't care who you have on the fucking team. I'm never buying into you again. That's where I'm at with the Bills. It's over. I'm like, they fumbled the ball. The Chiefs were about to put this game away, and they gave it back to Buffalo Bills, and the Buffalo Bills couldn't do shit with it.
Can we talk about? I'm glad we're talking about the game. I'm glad we're talking about the game because something happened during the game that has bothered me since I saw it. That fucking fake punt to DeMar Hamlin. Like, this is a goddamn.
Hey, Sean McDermott tried to win back the PR wars.
I was like, bro,
sleek.
I was like, this is not a Disney movie. What in the fuck are you doing? Punt the ball. Like, I knew when they did that cue, I knew for a fact, oh yeah, they're gonna lose. They're losing.
Because they're legitimately like, what if some magic happens? Like, that's how beaten down they are by the second round of the playoffs. Is that they're like, hey man, what if some magic happens? Fuck it. Put it DeMar. Like, that's what they're down. DeMar ain't even that kind of athlete. Like,
I was sitting there so confused. I was like, did they just like,
somebody said that the Bills are the AFC Cowboys, and I can't even say that because, like, the Cowboys were like the best team in the NFC or one of the best teams in the NFC all year. We thought the Bills were done halfway through the season. And then they just kind of clawed back into it because the Dolphins kind of fumbled away their chance to win that division. So, they're not even like the Cowboys. They're just done. Like, they're done. This was it. This was their run. They're done. Instead of being the Bills of the 90s that got to the Super Bowl 4 times and couldn't get over the hump, they're the Bills of the 2020s, which couldn't get out the second round and just found ways to lose it. Like, this is what, the 4th time they've lost in the second round?
I think so.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
3rd or 4th.
Yeah, they got there with 2019. They gave up. This is how bad their playoff history is. Well, how unfortunate their runs have been. 2019 was the Deshaun Watson comeback. Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, if that iteration of the team lives through 2 Deshaun Watson losses, hey, dog, I got nothing to do.
Hey man, that's gonna be a crazy pod, man.
hey, dog,
we gonna be like,
hey, damn, man. But if you see him in the second round, it's probably happening. Like, they not getting past the second round, dog. They just don't have it. But yeah, 2019 they lost to Deshaun Watson. 2020 they lost to. They played the Ravens in the first round? No. Did they beat the Ravens? Did they get the AFC Championship in 2020? They did. They did. They got to the AFC Championship game in 2020. Who they lose to? A battered, beaten up Kansas City Chiefs team. But you know what they had? They had Pat. And that's all they needed to get past the Bills. They had no offensive line. Everybody was hurt. That team got smacked by the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl that year. But you know who they could beat? The goddamn Bills. All right?
Was that 13 seconds? That was 13 seconds, right?
No. The next year was 13 seconds. I don't even believe that 2020 championship game was close. Correct me if I'm wrong. It wasn't memorable. We don't remember it at all. We just know that Pat Mahomes won it. All right. 2021 was 13 seconds. 2022, you got dismantled by the Bengals. And in 2023, you lost the game in multiple different ways that you were eventually going to lose. Because, like, look, once they could not score that touchdown on that drive, I went to use the bathroom and mount my echo on the wall because I was like, yeah, dog, it's cooked. They not winning. This game's going to be at least tied, and Pat's going to have the ball with 1:45 left and 2 timeouts. Get the fuck out of here. We know it's about to happen. We knew it was about to happen. Tyler Bass saved them some stress in Buffalo. That's what he did. He looked over like, they got Pat Mahomes, 140. Let me just shank this shit so everybody can just get the fuck out of here without having their heart broke.
Real quick, man. Real quick. Hey, Tyler Bass is a criminal, dog. There was no suspense to that kick whatsoever.
You know what, Tyler? I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Tyler. He saved everybody a good 15 minutes. Like, you got to do something else with your life for 15 minutes because Tyler Bass missed that kick instead of watching the inevitable. Okay? Because you know what's going to happen. Either that thing goes into overtime and you get your heart broken, or Pat just scores on that drive. Either way, the people in Buffalo would have been freezing their ass off for no reason because they wasn't winning that fucking game. Like, it wasn't happening. That shit was not happening. The second you didn't score that touchdown, the game was over. And Tyler Bass was like, he knew what it was and said, let me get these people home, man. They cold. Shake them, shake it.
Let me get these people home?
Yes. They shoveled the snow. Like, why torture them even more? Why torture these poor folks through overtime, Colb? Why put them through that? Just so we could watch Josh Allen flounder and then Pat Mahomes thrive? Like, what? Why would you want to watch that? We know what was going to happen. It wasn't happening for them, dog.
Oh, man.
And that's the thing that sucks for Bills fans. This ain't even no what if. You got all the breaks. They had a touchdown that fumbled out the back of the end zone. They had multiple turnovers in the red zone the Kansas City Chiefs did have in this game. They still beat you. But Miko Hardman fumbled the game away. Somebody else fumbled the game. Like, multiple opportunities for the Buffalo Bills to win this game. And you still couldn't do it. On the weakest Kansas City Chiefs team that we've seen in maybe the last 4 years, you still couldn't do it. It's cooked. It's cooked. It's cooked. It's done. It's wrapped.
Oh, man. It's over.
And it happened in the worst way possible because Sean McDermott coached well enough to keep the fucking job. So if you needed big time changes, it ain't happening. This could have been you could have been like, you know what, Sean, we got to fire you because that 9/11 stuff and the team floundered down the stretch. We gonna hire Bill. Okay, we gonna get Jim Harbaugh in here. Maybe it might be different. Hey, Jim changed the narrative with Michigan. He could probably do it with the Buffalo Bills, right? Nah, they gonna be stuck with McDermott. And then they gonna stink, dog. Shout out to the Bills, man.
Hey, you gotta stop shouting out things after we slept through.
Shout out to the Bills, man.
You gotta stop.
Shout out to the people of Buffalo.
Oh, disrespectful what he does.
Man, spend 25 minutes talking shit about your favorite team. Then talk about shout out to y'all, man.
Shout out to Bills Nation.
Hey, you better chill. It's crazy.
Bills Mafia.
Those people are crazy. You better chill out.
Hey, they be jumping through tables, man. You don't want to go down that path.
They don't have internet connections over there, dog. I'm good. They don't have broadband in Buffalo.
Hey, you gonna have Griselda at your door. Don't call me either when it happens. I'm
I'm gonna have Westside Gun at the door.
Like, don't try to get me to help you either. I can't do
I ain't
nothing for
gonna.
you.
I would just simply apologize. What you think I'm about to do? Fight them? Like, this ain't anime. Like, I'm not about to battle these things. Like, they come up to my door. I profusely apologize. Sorry about what I said about the Buffalo Bills. And then they gonna leave. I'm gonna lock that door. I'm gonna come back on here and be like, yeah, but the motherfuckers still ain't getting out the second round though. Like, all me hears what?
Oh man.
Boo, 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 boo.
I said that's the last thing you gonna hear is do 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 do.
Do, 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 do.
Oh.
Yeah, well, shout out to the Buffalo Bills, man. Hey, man.
Hey, you know what we gotta talk about though, right? You know what we gotta talk about, right?
You want to talk about your boy? Your favorite Browns quarterback of all time?
He my boy now? My boy now?
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, look. I take flack that I don't deserve for two things in life: Quincy Avery's tweets and COLB's opinions on Baker Mayfield. Somehow, whenever one of them says anything about Baker Mayfield or anything else, I get blamed for it. All right? People be in my meshes mad about what other people say. So all I'm gonna say here is, come on, man. Y'all knew what that shit was with Baker, dog. Y'all knew what that shit was. I can't believe people are acting surprised that he threw that interception. Come on. Even Baker stands were surprised. Okay, like
for the first time all season, they were quiet in my mentions. They was just like,
they was talking big shit too on that comeback attempt in the second half. Oh yeah, I heard them. Oh yeah, I bet you regret it now. We about to get to that. He's about to have more playoff accomplishments than the Browns, and I'm like, it's Baker Mayfield, dog. Wait till the end of the fucking game to talk this shit. Like, have you not realized this with Baker? Like, Baker definitely one of them quarterbacks. You got to wait till the end of the game. It's like being a Karl Anthony Towns stan, right? Like, you can't talk shit while Karl doing some shit. You got to wait till the end of the game to see how this play out, because something as great as a 63-point performance can turn into an L for Cat, right? Like, that is the truth. That's who Baker is. He's NFL Karl Towns.
You finally found your perfect.
Yeah, NFL. I can make fun of both of them at the same time, dog.
You finally got it.
This is so great. I feel so happy right now, dog. Like,
bro, y'all don't understand. People in the chat, people who watch us know. Q has been trying to find the perfect quarterback to call Karl Anthony Towns. You tried to do it with Justin Herbert. I was like, nah, it don't work. It don't fit. And you finally got it with Baker.
Yeah, Dak's too good. like, Dak's too good. Like, yeah, Baker's Karl Towns. Yes. Yeah. And shout out to the Ant-Man, Mike Evans.
No, but bro, it was so funny. It was so funny when I was watching the game, because I'm watching Baker. I'm like, Baker's been good. Like, Baker's been good in the postseason. That first pick he threw early in the game was not his fault. That was on Mike Evans. He should have caught the ball. It was not Baker's fault at all.
Oh yeah, we hear that all the time, man. That pick wasn't Baker's fault.
But that one actually wasn't his. That one actually wasn't.
I'm saying for every pick that's not Baker's fault, there are 5 that don't go get catch that are his fault. So I'm like, yeah, man, it averages out. It usually averages out. Like, I'm sorry. I've never seen an interception total that did not reflect the play of quarterback that was on the field. Like, people say, oh, like, that interception wasn't his fault. We got to cop the ones that were his fault. But I'm like, you know what, man? Enough people drop these interceptions, so it averages out to where I'm like, you know what? If the man threw 20 interceptions, I think he was putting the ball in danger. Like, I think it's safe to say that he was doing that. Like, it's one of the stats that I think is pretty fair. It's a pretty fair stat. Like,
Anyway, he was playing well. Played well against the Eagles.
Oh yeah. He played well down. He played kind of well down the stretch too. I mean, he had the one bad game versus Carolina, but for the most part, he was all right.
But I'm not gonna lie, bro. When I was watching him, and after the game was over, I was just like, bro, this is just another version of 2020 in Cleveland. Like that's what it was. Even down to who he had to play, down to who he had to play to win a playoff game in the first game. Because you remember in Cleveland when we played the Steelers, then they started off weren't they like 11-0 when they started?
12. They were 11-0. They won 12 games that year. Yeah.
And they finished the season. Was it 12-5 or 12-4? It was still 16 games.
Yeah,
still 16 games.
They did a very Eagles-like slide. Yes.
Yeah. Been losing games the last 2 months before they got to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Losing game for the last 2 months, and he cooked them. In Cleveland, he got a little bit more help. You know what I'm saying? Got a little bit more help in Cleveland. But this year, he just straight up cooked. He straight up cooked the Eagles. You know what I'm saying? Straight up cooked the Eagles. Going to the next game, playing really well. But then you get to the end of the game, and you need Baker Mayfield. He's got one drive left. Game on the line. Got to get in the end zone. What's he do immediately? Throws a fucking pick. And my only thought when it happened, was that is exactly why he's not in Cleveland anymore.
That's the thing with Baker Mayfield. He don't even give you like that level of suspense before he does something. Like usually it's like, hey man, right off the back, it ain't happening. like,
you know what the crazy thing is? I was watching the game with my dad, and he was talking about the entire time. As soon as he got the ball back, he was like, see, watch it's going to happen right now. And I'm like, it's not going to happen. Interception, I'm like, damn, he was right. It did happen.
Hey, man, black dad wisdom is crazy, dog. Like, don't. Black dad wisdom is crazy. Like, I be thinking I know what the fuck I'm talking about. My dad be like, oh, watch this. He gonna fumble this. I was like, what? It fumble. I'm like, oh, shit.
Oh,
like, that's nuts. That's nuts. Oh, he just knew. Can't wait till I get that. Like gotta level up to that. That's crazy. But that's just who I've been saying this all year. And like, depending on what time of the year it is, if Baker's playing well when I say this, I'm a hater. If Baker's not playing well when I say this, I'm an apologist. Baker's just up and down. Like, he's just up and down. He's Ryan Fitzpatrick. That's what he is. He's new Ryan Fitzpatrick. Remember we thought Ryan Fitzpatrick could be a franchise quarterback somewhere? He got the bag by Buffalo and several other teams. And then people just realize, hey, man, he might give you a hot 5 games. Because every time we talk about Baker Mayfield's good shit, it ain't even whole seasons, Cole. We talk about hot runs. Like, hey, man, remember those last 8 games of 2018? Hey, man, remember those last 7 games of 2020? Like, here's how I knew it was cooked for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I was like, man, Baker been playing really good. Well, that's not continuing. He's been playing too good. He's been playing too good for this shit to happen. Like, nah, like he always balances out. By the way, I know we riding high on it. Jared Goff ain't throwing an interception in about a month. Hey, dog, it might not be a good look for this NFC Championship game for the Detroit Lions.
Don't put that on the Lions. Don't put that on the Lions, man.
I'll put that out there. We're going to that topic. Yes, I am telling you right now, Jared Goff has been playing too well. At some point, we're going to remember who Jared Goff is, either in the NFC Championship game or in the Super Bowl. It's going to happen that we're going to remember that that's Jared Goff. And I just hope it happens in the NFC Championship game because I need somebody strong to be there to compete against the Ravens if they make it. Like, okay. Oh yeah, I'm hating. I'm on hater mode all playoffs. Like anybody but the Ravens. Like I'll gladly root a second Pat Mahomes championship. Like Lamar done got the playoff bucket off his back. Like now he don't got to worry about that one. Cool. We ain't got to deal with that agenda. He can lose now. Like, ain't no shame in losing to Pat. Like,
Hey man, I think
He had to beat Josh, right? Like he had to beat Josh. If he did not beat Josh, it would have been pandemonium in the streets on his name. People would talk all kind of shit, all this stuff about Lamar. It would have been crazy. All of a sudden, his MVP is invalid or whatever it is. So he had to win this one. I understand that one. As a Browns fan, I was willing to accept that.
Hey, can we talk about how not getting a Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen AFC Championship was good for America?
Save the country.
Save the country. Save the country.
Look, we don't need this tension. It's an election year officially. We don't need this tension in the streets.
Hey, the entire country would have been divided immediately.
It'd have been a whole lot of quarterbacky.
In an election year? In an election year.
And one team's colors is red, white, and blue. The other team's colors is black and purple. The colors that we associate heavily with Wakanda, like black, gold, and purple. Like that's what Black Panther suit looked like. Like, ooh, ooh,
oh, it could work.
Oh my God, no.
Let's just get Pat Lamar. Let's just
Hey, shout out to the CIA.
Shout out to the United States government. We have to make sure that happens.
FBI, CIA collaboration on that one. Okay.
Wow, look how far we've come. Look how far we've come. The CIA working to put a black man in a favorable position. Look how far we've come. Oh man, we've come a long way.
We're gonna get canceled. You talk about when a Griselda come knocking at my door, Cove. Are you worried about who might come knocking at your door?
I figured it would happen eventually.
Like, I could apologize to them, dog. All right, but yeah, they did us a solid. Whatever they did to that ball when Tyler Bass kicked it, they did us a solid. Hey man, you know how bad you are when the field goal to tie the game doesn't go in? Like, you're not happy about that field goal to begin with. So you just make the fucking kick. Like, all right, let's kick the ball. And then it goes out. It never has a shot. Didn't that happen to Ohio State? Was it the Georgia kick to tie the game?
Didn't even have a chance.
Y'all would have definitely won the national championship. Imagine what the narrative would be if y'all won that game, win the national championship, and then Michigan wins the national championship after. It would be Ohio State, Michigan on top, like battling as equals. And now we out here. I heard somebody say on Twitter that Ohio State's just Wisconsin with the Gucci belt. And I was like, that's just disrespectful what people are out here saying about Ohio State, you know.
I don't feel that way. I don't feel that way now because, you know, Ryan Day got some NIL funds. Mm-hmm. He's spending it.
I can't wait to see what him and Bill O'Brien cook up. Because the problem at Ohio State has always been talent, right? Like, that's been an issue the last couple of years. Ohio State ain't been talented enough. Oh yeah, that's gonna fix the problem. Yeah. You guys are talented again. That's going. Yeah, Ohio State about to fix it, y'all. Yeah, Ohio State about to get talented this year. That's gonna fix the problem. You know, hey, CJ Stroud ain't beat Michigan, and he looked like the coldest motherfucker in the NFL. But you know.
Hey, don't act like we wasn't watching Kyle McCord throw the ball last year. Come on, man.
That's talent. What you talking about, man?
That's talented.
Hey,
that's talented.
The results was the same when it was CJ. The problem is he was throwing to Marvin Harrison Jr. It shouldn't have mattered if it was Kyle McCord. If the coaches was right, but you know, like. I'm pretty sure Bill O'Brien might figure something out, right? You know, he's got to be better than whoever. Right? Was it Chris Ash? Who was his offensive coordinator last year?
Bro, I don't even know. I don't even remember.
I'm not sure.
He had to get him out of there. He had to get him out of there. Clearly,
Exactly. So it's got to be better than that. But you know who you don't got walking through that door next year? Marvin Harrison III.
Hey, bro. You know what just happened? You know what just happened while we was on here?
What?
The Bucks fired their head coach.
Ohio State?
No, the Milwaukee Bucks just fired their head coach Adrian, like literally just did it like 30 minutes ago.
Hey man, shout out Giannis, man.
What he got going on, bro? They're not even bad. Like
he parked in Giannis's space. Hey, that fire sounds like a pure Giannis was like, if I gotta be around. Look, Giannis been stressed this year, Cole. He's been stressed. He's clearly been stressed this year. He almost fought somebody over a damn ball. Like, I'm telling you right now, man, Giannis ain't like going to work, and they like, well, we can't have that.
Hey, you know they said. You know who they said is a great candidate to replace him? Doc Rivers.
Oh man.
Doc Rivers.
Doc Rivers.
Doc Rivers.
That's nuts. Doc Rivers. That's the plan. Doc Rivers. That's the best. Who wrote that article?
you know with Shams. You know with Shams.
Shams. Doc Rivers. Get off the phone, dog. Get off the fucking phone, Shams. Put the fucking phone down. Doc Rivers.
Hey, man. He'll figure it out, I guess.
No, he not. When has he figured anything out?
I mean, to be fair, last time he coached a team with green jerseys, they won it all.
That's not the last time he coached a team with green jerseys. The last time he coached a team with green jerseys, they was getting their ass beat by LeBron and he got fucking fired. Okay? That's what happened the last time he was coaching a team. That was the first time he coached a team with a green jersey. Like,
he won a championship. He won a championship.
Yeah, the first year, and then proceeded to be a fraud for the next 10. Like, what do you mean the last time he wore a green jersey?
They went back to a finals after that.
Did they win? I know you know the answer to that.
No, they did not.
You waiting for the TV show to cover that. By the way, winning time is amazing. I want to see whatever they're gonna do. Like you can't do it now because Kobe died too recently. But in like 10, 15 years, I want to see the behind the scenes television production of that Shaq and Kobe beef, dog.
We never get it.
No, we're getting it. It's too juicy. Shaq was out here DJing and shouting out Kobe's charges on the team playing. Like, nah, man, that's got to be on television. That's nuts. That's nuts.
They can't do that.
No, not while Shaq works at Turner.
No, Shaq works at
they got to protect that asset, dog.
Dog, hey, what is wrong with you, bro? What is wrong with you?
Turner's a subsidiary of Warner, and Warner owns HBO. You definitely can't. You cannot have that on the same family of networks. Like that's just pure common sense there. Like nah. They gonna make that then. Somebody ABC got to do that shit or something. Like, man, it's some ugly stuff that was out there about both of them. But yeah. Anyways, let's get to some safer territory. What were we talking about before we even got here? We got to Ohio State. That wasn't even on the fucking rundown. Like,
you know how I go on here, man. You know how I go on here.
All right. Did we talked about the Lions about to lose. We talked about the Chiefs and let's talk about these little Ravens real quick. They look
You gonna hate.
No, they look pretty good.
Hey man.
I mean, like,
I don't want to say
Texans.
I don't want to say it, but I'm gonna say it. I don't want to say it. But
No. We're not about to say this shit. Here's what we about to say. I've seen Kansas City beat Miami, an 11-win team. I seen Kansas City beat Buffalo, an 11-win team. All I saw was the Baltimore Ravens kind of beat a 10-win team in the Houston Texans. I mean,
Kinda.
they
Come on, man. They took him
It
to
got
the
away from him late. It got away from him
don't,
late.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't.
All I'm saying is that they ain't played Pat yet. They ain't played Pat. We're frozen. Yes, we're frozen. I'm fixing it. But they ain't played Pat. Yeah, we got Curtis. Oh yeah, we good. We good. We good. Keep going.
Hey man, I'm gonna say this. Though.
We got double Curtis. All right. There
Okay,
it is.
we good.
But
Look, man,
I keep doing this, man. Keep doing this. Every time you do this, it ends up being wrong. Come on. Get all excited about Lamar, all this stuff. Oh, Lamar's doing this stuff. And then just act like Pat Mahomes is not the other quarterback on the other side of the ball.
Let me stop you right there. When have I been wrong about Lamar so far this season? I said early he was going to win his second MVP. Like early. I said he was going to win his second MVP.
Yeah, I'm not saying that you've been wrong about Lamar. I'm just saying, look, man, Lamar is great. But that don't mean he could just wash out a Pat Mahomes card like that. That's still Pat, dog. It's still Pat.
It's less about Lamar and more about that defense. This is not the Bills' defense.
Oh, okay. Now this is where I'm just gonna have to stop it. All right.
It's not the Bills' defense, bro. This is not the Bills' defense.
No, that Ravens defense is cool. It's a good defense. That's still fucking Pat Mahomes. I don't give a fuck what defense you have going against Pat Mahomes. I don't care if it was the Browns defense, the Ravens defense, the Ravens and the Browns defense combined with Micah Parsons on it. That's still Pat Mahomes, dog. Like, I'm sorry. All of that shit matters less than Pat. All of that matters less than Pat. We do this every year. Oh, it don't matter. Pat ain't got this. They gonna shut down that. Pat's gonna be in hell. And then Marquez Valdez-Scantling end up with 155 yards, some bullshit like that. I'm just saying, dog. We did this with Tom, where it's like, hey man, look at the matchups. It matters. It is that. Okay, I understand they got Tom Brady on the other side, but you know, we got this and that. And what ended up mattering? Tom fucking Brady, at least in the AFC. All I'm saying is that's still Pat, man. That's still Pat. And we out here talking about everything but Pat for why the Kansas City Chiefs gonna lose this game. But if it ain't Pat, then they probably ain't losing.
Curtis, how you feel about this, man? How you feel about this?
If I say what I want to say, I'm going to annoy some people. But if Pat wins this, I'm going to feel like there's no hope. Like, this Chiefs team is not strong at all. Like, I was hoping Josh Allen could finish the job last Sunday, and they fucked it up. I can't believe it. I could not even imagine how I felt after that game. I'm like, hey, man, did they really just lose to these dudes, bro? Like, I sat there, and I'm like, if the Bills can't beat them, I got to put my faith in Lamar. And if Lamar can't beat them, I got to put my faith in either Brock Purdy or Jared Goff.
It ain't happening.
That's not happening. That's not happening.
That's not happening.
Hey.
That's not happening. It's not happening. It's just at a point where, you know, if you can beat Mahomes, then it's got to be like luck. But Baltimore probably has a good shot beating them. You know, the defense can cause some issues against Patrick Mahomes, because look, that Bills defense was banged up and half of their starters were out. They had someone who they just called up from the practice squad. Baltimore is full strength, and I think they could beat them. But there is a world in which Pat Mahomes goes off and the Ravens defense just completely has one of their worst games, and we wondering to ourselves like, hey man, if you're doing it with nobodies and whatever's left of Travis Kelce, I'm like, hey man, it's just not meant to be. It's not meant to be. Like, really, it's just.
Hey, remember who used to make you feel like that? Tom. right? Oh, yeah, this is gonna be it, dog. If you can't beat Tom this year, and then what happened every year? Tom get there. Tom probably win. Most of the time he do. And look, this Ravens team is pretty good. I'm not denying that. They're a really good team. They got a really good quarterback, but they also have their own flaws, right? Their wide receivers aren't that good. Like quiet as Cap. Like they do a lot of production through Isaiah Likely, and they're getting Mark Andrews back. And then they're going to try to integrate. Zay Flowers is doing okay, but like they're trying to integrate Mark Andrews back into this offense. There can be some holes there with the really good Chiefs secondary. And the Chiefs get good pressure on the defensive line. And you see it when the team has a good secondary, can get pressure with the defensive line. That's the one way that you could disrupt not Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. So like we get so focused on the Pat Mahomes part of this question that it eliminates other obstacles that other guys have to go. And that Chiefs defense is a legitimate obstacle for Lamar Jackson. And then you flip the ball on the other side. And yes, does that Ravens defense good? Sure. But if you're patient enough or if you're accurate enough downfield, you can pick apart that Ravens secondary. We've seen it happen. I mean, like Deshaun Watson's in no way Pat Mahomes. And he figured out a way to do it. So like the idea that like this defense is so good that even Pat Mahomes can't crack the code on it, I think is a little ridiculous. Like, come on, like there have been quarterbacks this year who have not been as good as Pat that have figured it out, that have been able to move against it. If you're going to try to confuse Pat at the line of scrimmage, that's not a good idea. If you're going to try to blitz Pat on the line of scrimmage, that's an even worse idea. Like they've been through all of these moments. They've been through all of these plans. They've been to 6 AFC championship games. Baltimore and Lamar Jackson have been to one of these games. Like the moment is guaranteed not to be too big for Pat Mahomes. I don't know if that's true for Lamar Jackson. All of these factors are here. It's not just it's Pat Mahomes, even though it's a fun way to package that tape. But it's like it's a reason why the teams that get there the most win the most. It's because they're used to being there. And they know what needs to be done in those moments to take advantage of it. Now, again, the rest of that team, I don't know if they're championship quality, but it doesn't matter because Pat is. Like, it just is. It is what it is. When you have the bar none, knockout, best quarterback in the NFL, there's no debate. We're not debating that, right? We all love Lamar Jackson here. No, we all think Lamar Jackson is the second best quarterback in the NFL, bar none right now. Pat's won with a dot, like a permanent dot. We know what it is. When you have that dude, I don't want to hear about, they got Roquan Smith. Okay? Okay, they got Roquan Smith. Ooh, that's going to stop him. Like, that's not what's going to stop him. So that's what I mean. Like, what is the plan for Pat Mahomes? Do they have a real plan? And is it a plan that can stop him? And also, like, what's their plan for that Chiefs defense? They're still a really good team. And everything points to me that the Chiefs have been playing good football lately. They've been having wide receivers catch the ball. Rasheed Rice's went off. Marquez's went off. Are we going to get a Kadarius Toney game?
No, we're not getting a Kadarius Toney game.
No.
Under no circumstances will we ever get a Kadarius Toney
Guy Moore game. Who knows? Somebody always steps up. And people call me a dick rider or whatever it is in the chat. Y'all called me that last year when I pointed this out. Who was right? Okay? Who was right? Oh, man, Joe Burrow looks just as good. Did you see how they dismantled the Bills? The Chiefs didn't even, There's all this nonsense. And then what happened? Pat Mahomes won. It didn't matter. They had Pat. Pat out here scrambling for 45 yards. Like, he out here running the football now. That's all I'm saying is that, hey, until you have a quarterback that's better than Pat, that's the main problem. That's who has the favor to win this game, is the team that has Pat Mahomes. Because in the playoffs, we found this out the hard way as Browns fans. It fucking matters who your quarterback is. It just does, right? Hey, Joe Flacco was fine for the end of the season. Then you get to the postseason. Oh, boy, it matters. It matters that Joe Flacco's in there, right? It matters that he's not as good as C.J. Stroud. We are a better team than the Texans, right? We're a better team. We have a quarterback who's not that much worse than C.J. Stroud, at least we thought at that time. And then it fucking mattered. And in the playoffs, these things matter. Pat Mahomes being the best quarterback in the NFL, that matters. And it ain't like this team is a disaster, like everybody is saying. They're just not as good as they were 3 years ago, which you could argue was the case last year, and they still went to the championship and won.
Yeah, that's the thing, though, because last year, you look at that team, I look at them this year a lot differently than I looked at them last year, because this year their defense is actually quite good. When have we seen a Kansas City Chiefs defense with Patrick Mahomes be this good? Not often. This defense is pretty damn talented. It's just the offense it's bad. It stinks. Outside of Rashee Rice and whatever's left of Travis Kelce and Isaiah Pacheco, their pass catchers have been fairly disappointing. They're top of the league in drops. This is not a good wide receiver room. But it don't matter because you got number 15 back there and he'll make something happen. That kind of scares me a little bit, but I can't see a world in which Baltimore, figures it out. They could figure it out, but, you got Mahomes against Lamar. Who knows how that's going to go, honestly.
Hey. Oh, they say Kadarius Toney been a healthy scratch for last 2 weeks, by the way. Thank you for that. Ray.
Shut up. I told you.
I don't think he's regressed. I was like,
under no circumstances are we getting a Kadarius Toney game. No circumstances.
But here's what I'm saying. This is where I've been with the Kansas City Chiefs all year. If your biggest problem with the Kansas City Chiefs is the offense, then that's a team you don't want to play in the playoffs because, okay, that could get solved real quick. I think they put up 30 in both games or close to 30 in both games last 2 weeks.
What's crazy is that they had more 20-plus yard plays than Buffalo last week. Buffalo had none. That's what I figured out. Like they were
Buffalo running that thing, dog. Buffalo was running that thing. They tried. They tried to do it a whole different way. Whole new approach. We are running the rock. We are toting the football because we try to take time off the clock and score. And it just didn't work. It just didn't work. Didn't work.
Hey man, it's Pat. It's Pat, dog. I did this to myself with Tom Brady, where I was hating on Tom Brady, right? And I wanted Tom Brady's downfall. All my adolescence, I was like, yeah, man, I can't wait till Tom Brady stinks and loses. And then I turned into a grown-ass man, and this man still just winning games. Just every game, just every big game, he just fucking win it. And at some point, I had to just accept, it's Tom, man. Like, it's just Tom. Like, hey, he's good. He got luck on his side. God love him. I don't know what it is, but the man just don't lose in these moments.
Hey man, we'll see.
Hey man, people like it. What makes me confident in this too? If people thought the Chiefs were going to roll over the Ravens, I think the Ravens will have a shot. It's the fact that people think it's going to be the opposite way where I'm like, nah, that's just ridiculous.
Nah, it's going to be a game. It's going to be, to be honest with you, I'm glad this is the AFC Championship because this is the best version. Knowing what we know about the other teams now, this was the best version of the AFC Championship game that we were going to get, realistically. Like, this is going to be the most competitive. This is the most competitive AFC Championship game we could have got. It's probably going to be the most entertaining. And I just want to put it out there now. I am not rooting for the Baltimore Ravens. Love Lamar. Probably my favorite quarterback in the league. But he played for the Ravens. So I need the Chiefs to go ahead and do that.
You like a lot of division opponents, man. You ever notice that, Curtis? Don't he smell like an op to you? Like, he is an admitted Laker fan.
Oh, you've been waiting. You've been waiting to get somebody to get on.
Your favorite quarterback is Lamar Jackson. Your favorite head coach is Mike Tomlin. Who's your favorite wide receiver? Jamar Chase?
Nah. Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper. Yeah, that's convenient.
What do you notice about Lamar and Mike?
Look, I ain't say your favorite quarterback. Your second favorite quarterback was Joe Burrow, but I don't think look, if we were doing a different list, I do think Joe Burrow would be at the top of it for you. Like,
nah, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I don't know. I don't know, man. Like,
I feel like Mike Tomlin and Lamar Jackson have similar experiences with how they are perceived by other people. And that's why I support them. You think that's convenient too? You think that's convenient too, Q?
Yeah, racism is convenient. Yep. Don't you try to hide behind valid social issues.
Hey man,
Okay.
if you in the comments and you clipping Furnace Guy, please get racism is convenient.
Why you trying to set me up? See, that's some off stuff right there. Like, Curtis, he trying to set me up. He trying to set me up.
You gonna act like that's not funny? You gonna act like that's not funny?
It's funny right now. Then Jason Whitlock's complimenting me, and then I'm gonna be furious at you. All right, like don't you dare ever do anything that makes Jason Whitlock think I fuck with him. It's playing a dangerous game here.
Especially after what we said about America already.
Hey man, I got them blocked on Twitter. I don't need to worry about them quoting me. But anyways, I'm just saying, man. Who your favorite Browns? You know, where's Deshaun Watson in your?
Hey.
Who you like better? Okay, Mister. I like them persevering over social constructs. Who you like better, Joe Flacco or Deshaun Watson? And to the next topic.
Woo! Fifth.
You was sweating. Yeah. Little bit. Your chest got. Remember Austin's car? Whenever somebody would choke him, your chest got tight, huh? Got that pepper in your mouth. Yeah, getting a little hard to breathe, huh?
Woo! Sometimes thing to say is nothing at all.
Hey, dog. Sometimes you just need to put.
Ooh, not gonna give me the trick bag. What Ken Carmen say? Don't get worked into a shoot.
I'm reading Stephen A's book right now, and I'm on a chapter where he got in trouble for saying what he said about that Ray Rice situation. And the whole chapter, he's explaining himself. I'm like, Stephen, you just needed to put. He's like, I needed to say something that connected with the audience, and I needed to say something that was gonna one up Skip. And I'm like, see, your dumb ass needed to punt. You trying to wind it down and shit. Just punt the ball, Stephen. What you mean? Am I supposed to say the same thing that Skip Bayless said? Yes, he ain't get in trouble. Like, why you trying to debate this? This ain't the debate we try to see. Like, nah. I'm reading that book and hearing Stephen A. justify that. I was like, hey, dog, the power of punting. Like, you don't need to have a stance on everything.
Man, you ain't supposed to, sometimes you ain't supposed to have a take, man. Sometimes you ain't supposed to have a take.
Sometimes your take ain't supposed to stand out. Right? Like,
say what everybody else said. Just say what everybody else said, man.
Sometimes your take is just supposed to be boring, brother. Like, it just is. Hey, every take can't be good TV, man. You got to punt that shit. All right. Speaking of takes that need to be punted, hey, what are y'all thoughts on the backlash of Gerard Mayo being the head coach of the New England Patriots? Anybody? All right.
Did you see the comments under that tweet? I was like, hey, man, most racist shit I've ever seen in my life.
Ooh. I came back.
I said crazy stuff, dog. That was crazy.
Oh, man.
They called him a black supremacist.
Hey, Curtis, like, what did I sign up for, dog? Like, Curtis, I thought we was gonna have fun and talk about cat. What the fuck? Nah, dog. What is this? No. We gonna talk about the Browns looking for a new offensive coordinator. That's what we about to talk about. Don't worry, Curtis. It's a good thing Greg wasn't here for this one.
Man, Greg. Ooh, we might have lost
Greg working on the Super Bowl.
Producer.
Yeah.
We might have lost our producer.
Oh shit. All right. Browns are looking for a new offensive coordinator. They're looking for a new offensive coordinator. I think people have gotten the reason that they're looking for a new offensive coordinator kind of wrong, and they're coming up with a lot of wrong conclusions because of it. I think people thought that Kevin was giving up control of the offense and that he was he was firing the offensive coordinator because he didn't want control. Kevin wanted different voices in there. He wanted to expand the comfort zone of the Browns offense, right? To get comfortable doing RPOs, read options, all of that stuff that they did with Deshaun, like his first week back, that they didn't keep in the offense. They wanted to expand their comfort zone. The problem with Alex Van Pelt isn't that he's not a good coach. They have the same exact comfort zone, him and Kevin Stefanski, right? It was part of the reason I felt like Joe Woods needed to get out of there, because Joe Woods, demeanor-wise, is just like Kevin. So if you're not just like Kevin, and you're on that locker room, you have nobody to really relate to because everybody act like Kevin. That's why they had to hire somebody like Jim Schwartz, who's much different than Kevin, right? Same thing on the offensive side of the ball. I think they need to get some new influences, some new people in that collaboration process with different comfort zones in order to get the Browns where they need to get with some of the shotgun stuff. And it was clear to me that Alex Van Pelt wasn't going to be the guy that was going to fix them shotgun issues, because no disrespect to Alex Van Pelt, but his big innovation was putting Nick Harris' big ass at fullback in the gun. That was his big shotgun innovation. That's what we rolled out with, right? We got all these tricks at shotgun. And what did we roll out with? Nick Harris in end arounds. All the end arounds. It just was not a collaborative process that was expanding the comfort zone sufficiently enough. And I think that's why they had to get rid of it. Kevin's still in charge of the offense. I wouldn't be surprised, me personally, if the Browns went pass game coordinator, run game coordinator instead of offensive coordinator. But what are you guys' takes on it?
To me, and my fault, Curtis. I'll let you go.
Yeah, the thing is, I hate when Browns fans try to come up with these elaborate, dumbass think pieces about, oh, why is Kevin Stefanski giving up play calling? I'm like, man, maybe he just wants to change it up. It's like, change is good. And everyone was complaining about, oh, when Alex Van Pelt got fired, people were so angry. I'm like, angry about what? The offense needs to be changed. So why are you so upset about this? Like, I was able to rewatch a few Browns games, and I was watching them offensive snaps, like a couple. And the one thing that stood out to me is like, hey, man, there's not a lot of motion going on in this offense. Because when I see offenses like the Rams, the Lions, specific offenses that are in the playoffs right now, they use a ton of motion, different formations, different skill sets to help with their offense. And Cleveland just lined up and said, all right, we're going to use different formations. We're not going to use any motions. And then teams kind of figure that out. Why do you think Christian Harris had that interception against Joe Flacco? Because he kind of figured out what the offense was. The offense was kind of stale. You kind of need to go in a new direction. You can't be complacent, because if you are, that's how you're going to lose your job. And AVP, letting him go was smart, because you got to change up the offense to fit the quarterback. Because if you don't have the quarterback and you don't have the offense, that's a bigger problem. And that's when things go south. So I have no problem with them going outside their comfort zone, getting maybe a passing game coordinator or a running game coordinator. Just find someone who can get Deshaun Watson and say, hey, man, the stuff we're going to run, are you comfortable with it? Because if you aren't comfortable with it, it's just going to create more problems. Just find someone who can run the same stuff that he did in Houston, and everything will be fine. But other than that, I'm not surprised they moved off their offensive coordinator. It was inevitable. They need to make a change. But people are making it seem like, oh, there's something wrong with the Browns, getting rid of their defensive coordinator, their special teams coordinator, and now their offensive coordinator. I'm like, maybe they just want to change it up. Good teams move off their offensive coordinators all the time. Sean McVay did it. Jim Harbaugh did it. Like, John Harbaugh, Jim, same thing. But anyway, it's just people need to stop with these elaborate think pieces about why the Browns do specific moves, because, hey, man, just like think for 5 seconds as to why he's doing it and not try to make it a deeper meaning. Because let's be real. I think I saw one tweet that said, oh, it was something about, the Browns moving off the coordinator. It's like, maybe they just want to change. That's all they need to do. Is change is good. I have no problem with it.
Hey, man,
I'm not gonna
Baltimore
lie.
did this with with Todd Monken. They got a coordinator in here who fit where their quarterback had evolved to, right? With Lamar Jackson, where it's like Lamar had evolved as a passer enough that they needed to expand what they were doing with passing the football, and they moved towards that. Now this is a bit of a different situation where the quarterback position in general has just evolved, right? Like, it's not the same thing that it used to be. Guys are more mobile. It's expected that quarterbacks be mobile. It's expected that you run out the gun most of the time instead of under the center. And the Browns had an offense that was really cool for like, it was that West Coast offense, and it was like something that Joe Flacco could come in there and walk in day one and remember because he used to run it. And that might be the problem, right? It just wasn't that different from what he used to run in Baltimore 10 years ago. And that has some advantages, that has some negatives. You saw one of the negatives in that game where DeMeco Ryans was looking around like, oh yeah, I prepared for this exact moment when I played Baltimore and they had Gary Kubiak and Joe Flacco was the quarterback and they ran stick. They run it this way. He still runs it this way. So just stand right here, Christian, and you're going to get a pick eventually, right? Just stand right here. I promise you. Just stand right here. You're going to be late. You're going to get a pick. That's the problem. Like, they needed to evolve this thing. They needed to move this thing forward and advance it. And also, like, I think we're focusing a lot on the Deshaun part of this, which is a big part of it, right? Deshaun needs to play better, all of that. But I think that has more to do with Deshaun just staying on the field. Like, I just don't think he stayed on the field long enough to really put anything together that would show you that he's any better, because every time he's had like 2 games in a row, we're like, oh yeah, he looks good, and then he gets hurt for like 5 fucking games or the rest of the year. I think that's been more the issue with Deshaun. I think this was really like, hey, that run game after Nick Chubb got out was just unacceptable. Like, it was just bad. And I think that was one of the main things that they feel like they needed to adjust. They need to be able to run this ball out of shotgun more, right? If that's where the league's going, if that's where everybody's moving, is they're running this ball out of shotgun, then we're going to have to get better at that. And that's the one thing that the Browns just could not figure out all season, was running this ball out of the gun. They could not figure it out consistently. They couldn't figure out what running backs they needed to have in. And I think that I wouldn't be surprised if that run game got overhauled behind Nick Chubb. So we're talking about basically maybe even Jerome Ford not even being a big part of that next year. But I think that's where the big overhaul is going to come, is like how they go about run blocking and run. Because like, I think also what they're realizing is they don't have the personnel at tackle to run the ball how they want to with wide zone, right? Jet Wills is not the run stuffer you wanted him to be. He's a good enough player, but he's not the run stuffer you wanted him to be. DeJuan Jones is not that dude as a run blocker. He's that dude as a pass blocker. He's not that dude as a run blocker. So you want to morph your personnel into something that can roll with that. And if you have elite guards and centers, running out the gun makes sense. Guard, center, guard. That makes sense. But if you couldn't figure that out or get comfortable doing that, you need to get people who were. And if Alex Van Pelt was not comfortable doing that, then he had to go. I think this is just more about them trying to get back to being ahead of the curve on offense and not being behind the curve, because at times it truly felt like this Browns offense was behind the curve, especially when they had Deshaun Watson out there, because it looked like it was supposed to be advanced. But then you look at it, you're like, they still run a stick. Like, they still running these basic concepts. Like it's still the same shit. They just running it out of gun. And I think that was the issue. They want to run more of those downfield schemes. They want to do things that Deshaun's more comfortable with. I remember I had a conversation with Kolb earlier this year where I was like, I think if you put Deshaun in the offense he's more comfortable with, he'd look fine. Like, I don't think he's physically deteriorated. I don't think mentally he's any different than what he was. I think he's fine. Like, we've seen him make these great throws and great reads at times when he had more freedom with the offense. I think he's fine as a quarterback. Like, I don't know if he's top 5 or anything like that, but he's fine. And I think that you need to just put him in a situation where he's more comfortable in. You need to run RPOs, and look at where the quarterback direction they headed with this, right? They drafted DTR. DTR is not like a stand in the pocket type quarterback. He moves around, like he scoots. So you need to get comfortable doing those things, and that's what you need to do to advance. This is what they had to do. And I honestly see that as a positive, because they had every excuse in the world to stick with that old shit, right? Joe Flacco got in here, ran it well. We just need Deshaun to run this old shit well, right? Basically, as we could have really went in there and said that, and nobody would have batted an eye because of how that season ended, right? Like, we would all been like, well, Deshaun needs to figure it out. Nobody's really putting that pressure on Kevin right now. Kevin's not the one we're worried about. We're worried about Deshaun. So to make a move like this tells me, okay, you're seeing past yourself. You're seeing the issues and you're diagnosing them and you're trying to do something about it. Because shout out to Jake Burns. He's been on Twitter all year saying this shit need to change, dog. We are starting to get behind the curve on
even
the
when we were
offense.
winning, Jake would be like, "Nah, man, it's not gonna work."
It's like I don't know how long we can come out here rolling out the 2010 offense, right? Like it's basically look at Pittsburgh. They've been running the same offense for 10 years, and look where they're at.
Well, when you talk about Pittsburgh, though, you know what I'm saying. Mike tried to, what was the offensive coordinator's name? I already forgot about him. He'd been gone for 2 seconds.
Cole, my point exactly. My point exactly. Here's my point exactly. Matt Canada. My point exactly. Canada. The one thing that you can criticize Mike Tomlin for, right? He gets a lot of unfair criticism. The one thing you can criticize Mike Tomlin for, he has not been willing to be bold enough on that offensive side of the ball when it comes to finding solutions.
Nope.
Absolutely not.
That's going to be his downfall because you just look at that offense for Pittsburgh. It's like, hey, man, what are they doing? Like, trying to just watch them play offense is like physically painful because there's nothing there. It's just bland. And when you look back at why they kept Matt Canada for so long, I'm like, hey, man, the longer you keep this dude, the longer you're going to realize like they're going to get rid of you eventually. And they took him later in this season, like, oh, he's the problem. Like, hey, man, he could have been gone last year because you saw what Cleveland and Baltimore did when they had an issue, got rid of him.
But the issue existed before Matt Canada, right? The issue was there with Finkner before Matt Canada. The issue was there with whoever was Todd Haley before that, right? Like the issue always existed is that they kind of just revert to the same comfort zone. And if you don't evolve your comfort zone, you're going to be one of those guys out like Matt LaFleur, Sean McVay, and Kyle Shanahan. They all technically run the West Coast offense. You wouldn't be able to tell it by looking at them because they're variated. They have variated so far from that original premise that they look very different, but they're all from that same base. That's what Kevin looked at and was like, how are we this far behind Sean McVay? How are we this far behind Kyle Shanahan? How are we this far behind Matt LaFleur? Like, how are they able to do all of this stuff with, I keep calling him Bryce Young because he kind of looked like him, Jordan Love, with all of this stuff, right? Like, how are we this behind? And then you flip to Cleveland and we're like, we're not doing any pre-snap motion. We're not running out the gun most of the time. We're not playing out the gun most of the time. We got Deshaun Watson and we're doing no RPOs. We did an RPO with Joe Flacco. We can't figure out no RPO with Deshaun.
You know what's funny? Somebody pointed this out on Twitter too. It's like the two offenses that our defense got cooked by, like, seriously this season. The Rams and the Texans. The two offenses that do a lot of the stuff. Somebody was like, hey, man, we don't do none of that stuff. They probably didn't even know what they was looking at.
They can't even practice against it, right? Because they don't do none of it. But I'll go further. Shane Steichen.
Colts cooked us too.
Seahawks
cooked us.
And they're running a lot of that shit. That's why we're interviewing their offensive line coach to be a running game coordinator or running backs coach or whatever the fuck we doing with them, right? Cooked us. And then the Texans, every single every offense, we're like, oh, they doing some new shit. Except for Kyle Shanahan, who took that L and then 2 more L's after that and then started doing some new shit. Right? It's not crazy to see what the issue was. Not only are we hurting our defense, not only are we hurting our offense by not being ahead of the curve, we're hurting our defense by not letting them be aware of this shit or practicing against it in real time. So I think the team's going to be better. Look, it wasn't a bad thing when they got rid of Joe Woods. It wasn't an indication of Kevin Stefanski's lack of control over the team. It was just Kevin being like, hey, he's not good. We changing him out.
I'm glad you said that.
That's Kevin doing his fucking job. And then you know what Kevin did with the offense? He did his fucking job because it would have been real easy to keep his homeboy on the roster. Oh, yeah, we ain't that bad. Deshaun was hurt. Nick Chubb, we going to run it back and we going to be just fine next year. Thousands of Browns coaches would have done that. But you know what Kevin did? His job. And he's being criticized for that as if he's on the hot seat. Meanwhile, Andrew Berry did a press conference yesterday where he compared this motherfucker to Andy Reid and said he's the best of us. I don't think he's going anywhere.
I'm glad you said this, though. I'm glad you said this because the initial reaction by Browns fans is that there's an issue that because he's replacing AVP. First of all, most of these people probably couldn't even tell you what AVP does on a week-to-week basis. You probably don't even know what that man's job is.
No, here's what AVP does. Here's what AVP does to these fans, though, Cole.
Probably don't even know.
Here's what AVP does to these fans. Because I'm like, yeah, he collaborates and helps them put together the play sheet, basically. That's what AVP's job is. But nobody who complains about Kevin knows that, right? What AVP does for these fans that complain about Kevin is everything that they don't like about Kevin, they think AVP is great at. Oh, Kevin should give up the play call on the AVP. Why? Like, seriously, people said this. Kevin should give up the play calling. Who does Kevin have to give up the play calling to? Alex Van Pelt, right? Like, if he were to give up the play calling during the season, he would have to go. Why do people think that's a good answer? Alex Van Pelt called a game versus the Steelers, and it was remarkably similar to what Kevin Stefanski was calling. Like, to the point to where what got him out of the game, because remember, it was getting tight. They were doing the same Kevin shit where it's like, hey, man, we trying not to lose this lead. And then they threw a screen and Nick Chubb broke it and that busted the game open. But it wasn't like that was the most aggressive play call in the world, right? Kevin is significantly more, like, you want a conservative version of Kevin Stefanski? Like, that's crazy to me. But it never was about Alex Van Pelt. It was about the idea of Alex Van Pelt because they backup quarterbackized him. Right, where the backup quarterback is all of a sudden good at all the shit you hate the starter for not being good at. That's basically what they did to Alex Van Pelt. They made him something that he wasn't. When all Alex Van Pelt was the dude who understood the offense with Kevin and ran the same shit that Kevin wanted to run. So if you wanted to run something different, Alex got to go. Like, it makes a ton of sense to me. Like, if you want to go from being bottom 3 in the shotgun, running plays out of shotgun to top 10, Alex Van Pelt ain't gonna bring you there, right? Alex Van Pelt's not bringing Kevin out of his shell to get into the shotgun because Alex Van Pelt don't want to run shotgun too. Somebody else has to do that. Somebody else that Kevin powers has to do that in order for there to be any change. And I think that's what's remarkable about the Browns there. And I promise you we'll come back to this and be like, hey, man, by October, Colb's going to come on here and he's going to be like, hey, man, Q, you want to talk about it? You want to talk? Hey, low key, getting rid of Alex Van Pelt might be the move of the year. And then, you know what we going to do? Remember all these motherfuckers that was saying it was a bad idea?
You know us too well. You know us way too well.
This is going to happen in October. Because Deshaun probably going to play better. Because he's more comfortable with what he's doing. And you're playing to his strengths. He's still super talented. Like, that didn't go anywhere. Our faith in it has disappeared because he hasn't been consistent in a little while. But I think that has more to do with the fact that he sat out 700 games and then literally could not stay on the fucking field.
It's just that I hate whenever the Browns do something that's, normal. Inevitable. Like normal people are saying, "Oh, why are they doing this?" Maybe because they want to change. That's why. Like, I'm so sick of these people trying to create these damn think pieces on why they get rid of certain players or coaches. Like, shut the fuck up and just think critically for 1 second. Like, it's annoying. Like, when they hired the tight end coach from Alabama, Tommy Reeves, I've seen people saying, "Oh, is he gonna call the plays?" I'm like,
dog, he was like, I'm calling plays. I was like, did y'all watch Alabama versus Michigan in the college football playoff? He's absolutely not calling plays for the Cleveland Browns.
Here's the thing, too.
No way.
Here's the thing. Kev's not a bad play caller.
exactly.
Kev's a good play caller. Like,
this is the best season he's had as a play caller since he's been in Cleveland. Literally has been his best season calling plays. And they want to replace him? Tommy Reese? For Tommy Reese.
I don't get what the issue is. If you think Kevin Stefanski is not experienced enough to be calling these plays when he's been calling plays for like 5 fucking years at this point, they're like, why do you want Tommy Reese, who was my age 5 years ago, like, to be calling these plays? Like, that's nuts to me. Tommy Reese was out here battling it out in the USFL 2 years ago. Like, nah, man. Like, it's so weird how people go to these lengths, or people are somehow acting as if the Browns had a failed season this year. Like, that's the other thing that gets lost. We didn't fire our coordinator because we stunk this year. We fired our coordinator because we wanted to get better. They won 11 games with the previous offense. And it's like, what you can argue, the previous offense was being ran at the worst possible state. You didn't have Nick Chubb. You didn't have a quarterback. You didn't have a fucking offensive line by the end of the season. You were down to Christian Watson. Was that who he had it? Leroy Watson. That's
Garon Christian and James Hudson and Leroy Watson.
No James Hudson. James got hurt. It was Leroy Watson and Garon Christian. Yes.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. So this is who you were down to. You ran this offense at the worst possible way it could be ran, personnel-wise, and then you still got to 11 games. And that's enough of an excuse to say we could run it back. But they decided to get better. And every time the Browns decide to get better, there's some dork that points out, oh, well, who's we going to blame next year? Deshaun Watson. That's who we going to blame next year if shit don't go right. Like, is it not obvious that if it doesn't go well next year, Deshaun Watson is going to get blamed for this? Like, how do we write all these articles about how Joe Flacco's success is making the burden and the pressure heavier on Deshaun Watson? It's going to make it so that if they don't reach the same level of success, it's going to be seen as Deshaun Watson's fault. And it being like, oh, yeah, actually, it's going to be Kevin's fault because he fired a coordinator.
No.
It's Deshaun's. That's who the pressure's going to be on. It's Deshaun. If they stink next year, Colb, are you going to be cussing out Kevin Stefanski, or are you going to be cussing out Deshaun? Because you've won 11 games 2 times with Kevin Stefanski.
I forgot who in Brown's Twitter I was talking about. I think Brett Sobleski, or I think that might be his name. So
Sobolewski,
whatever his name is. Shout out to Brett. But
is this a Quincy shout out, or is this an actual like, hold on, I don't want to get disrespectful.
I'll let y'all interpret and determine what it is. But shout out to Brett. But he was like, I was basically like, hey, man, if this don't work out next year, because he was doing the whole like doom and gloom, like, oh, we're fired another coordinator. There's not going to be anybody left to blame but Kevin. And I was like, 2 things. First of all, when he fired the last 2 coordinators he fired, those 2 phases of the game immediately got significantly better. Immediately got significantly better. And let's not forget, Mike Prefer and Joe Woods were both his boys. He was like, yeah, man, y'all not it. Replaced them. Defense got significantly better. Special teams got significantly better. So I was like, him firing the coordinator, I don't know why people got so up in arms about it in the first place. The last time we fired coordinators, it was a good thing. Second of all, nobody's blaming Kevin. Nobody with sense, I should say, is blaming Kevin Stefanski anymore. We are so far removed from that. It's ridiculous to even talk about it. He's about to get extended in the next month or 2. He's going to be here for the foreseeable future. If this shit don't work, they are blaming the quarterback. And Andrew Berry will take steps to replace said quarterback at the 2025 NFL draft if this shit don't look the way that it's supposed to look. Kevin's about to be a 2-time coach of the year. He won 11 games with Joe Flacco, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, PJ Walker, and
2-1 PJ. Get it right. 2-1 XFL All Pro and honorable MVP PJ Walker. See, I hate when people are like, oh, PJ's an XFL quarterback. He's an all-pro XFL quarterback, mind you. Okay? First team all-pro XFL quarterback. Put some respect on Mr. Walker's name.
That is who he won 11 games with. At this point, Kevin is more valuable than the quarterback that we have. And that's just the truth. That is just the truth.
Yeah, it's just for the first time in forever, the Browns are a stable organization and people are thinking, oh, they fire a coordinator. Same old Browns. I'm like, no, man, this team won 11 games with multiple injuries. After half the roster on IR. It's a different team now, a new age, new day. And people are making it seem like this franchise is still the same. Like, no. Like, for the first time ever, it's stability. And people tend to not think about that when they want to fire a coach because players look into that. Free agency, even hell, draft picks. If you're firing coaches and GMs year in and year out, do you think I want to go and play for you? Like, no. Like, they're stable for the first time ever. And for some reason, people don't know how to react to that. Like, they're fine. They're doing the right things for once, ever. They're not screwing things up. They're doing things the right way, getting the right people in the building, getting the wrong people out of the building. And somehow, some way, people will try and twist it as a negative. It's not. It's literally a positive. If you can do the same thing with the Detroit Lions, you can do the same thing for the Cleveland Browns. Don't know why people want to do it, but we can connect the dots as to why they do it. But you can say what we want to say.
Well, here's the thing too. We use these parallels to Pittsburgh when they're convenient, but then we throw them out when they're not, to whatever point that people are trying to make, right? Because when Pittsburgh does something and the Browns don't do it, like, oh, look, Pittsburgh's doing this stuff and we don't ever do this stuff. And we got to hear about how Pittsburgh's so much better than us, even though I don't know about that. I don't know. I would argue that we've been better ran. But here's the big issue with that. You know what all these other teams that keep their head coach for a while do all the time? They switch out their coordinators. You know why? Well, here's why. One, because there's turnover, right? Guys get hired. That happens. And two, hey man, in this division, Kevin Stefanski's still the newest head coach. Everybody's been here since 2020. You gotta change it up. Like, even if it's working, you gotta change it up because everybody knows everything that, like, if you play for Baltimore and you get traded for Cleveland, I promise you'll learn the playbook in like 5 minutes because you know it. You've been playing against them for like 5 years. Like, you know their playbook. You know what they like to do. You've been preparing for that same offense for 5 years. The same way the Browns have been preparing for the same shit that the Steelers do. It's why the AFC North always looks much better against the AFC North, because we've played every single team millions of times. The same teams, the same coaches, the same offenses. So you got to switch stuff up. Baltimore had to switch stuff up. By the way, we're doing exactly what Baltimore did. Nobody's pointing that out. Like, nobody who's writing these doom and gloom pieces aren't like, well, it worked for Baltimore, right? They fired their defensive coordinator and got TJ McDonald. Hey, very good decision, right? We would argue that defense has made a significant jump since getting rid of Wink Martindale. And then offensively, they got rid of Greg Roman. They got Todd Monken. It was a little shaky at the beginning, but they needed games together to figure the offense out. Kind of like with Deshaun. And I'm not saying they're going to be like the Ravens next year. Deshaun Watson is never going to be as good as Lamar Jackson is right now. Like, anybody who has dreams of that happening, it's not. Deshaun is older and he's been injured much more. He's not going to be as good as Lamar Jackson. But this team doesn't require him to be as good as Lamar Jackson. Not even remotely. Made the playoffs with the carcass of Joe Flacco, an all-pro XFL quarterback, PJ Walker, and an all Pac-12 DTR.
All Pac-12.
Yeah, all Pac-12. Hey, let me give a shout out to 2014 Pro Bowler Joe Flacco. Right? Like, it's like, you know what I mean? But that's who they were able to do it with. They still look like a dangerous team in the playoffs until it started to matter that the quarterback was not that good. Right? And the one thing with Deshaun that we have seen is that he's kept the turnovers down when he's out there to a point, right? There's that Pittsburgh game where he turned the ball over a ton. But also, let's remember this when we talk about what the quarterback situation is for next year, Cole. That motherfucker had one bad game. Like, one bad game. Like, one bad game.
Can't set a timeline that.
That one bad game, dog.
No, that one bad game, man.
It was bad. Man. It was bad.
We can't. You know what?
But he followed it up with like 8 straight.
It was so bad. Like we can't even just say it was bad. Like it was bad.
It was bad, and it was on national TV.
Yes,
he was the reason we didn't win.
Yes,
in that game. Absolutely. But dog, it was one game. Like, it was one game. He was pretty good in every other game. Like, definitely a credit towards winning in literally every other game. Helped you win in Cincinnati, for sure. Tennessee game, I would say he was a significant part of the reason they won that game. Arizona, oh yeah, he kind of fucking balled in that game. Baltimore, he was pretty big in that fourth quarter. Like, yeah, he had the one, but he kind of paid it back by the time he got hurt. Like, it is what it is. I understand why nobody's going to be excited for Deshaun Watson because, like, yeah, he's not a good person, or at least he doesn't appear to be a good person, allegedly, from things he's been accused of. Like, it is what it is. But
on the field, in the building.
Off the field, out the building, I'm not sure. But on the field, in the building, this is not as big as a question mark as people are making it sound like to me.
That's the thing, though. It's just when I rewatched a couple of his games, I'm like, the talent's still there. There's some things I wish he would not do, like learn how to slide for one reason. That's the one thing he can
that's
do.
the big issue. Can he stay healthy? That's the big issue for me is like, if he's healthy and the Browns have him next year, they'll probably be in the division race, back to winning 11, 12 games. They'll be really good. I'm not concerned about Deshaun Watson figuring out the offense. I think he'll be fine. My biggest concern is, like, can he stay healthy? That's what's a huge concern to me, because nothing indicates that man is willing to stay healthy. Because you know what? We talk about this, right? And it's heroic in the time. He had a high ankle sprain and a broke shoulder that would take him out for the whole season. And he still played. That does not sound like somebody who health is a high priority to. Also, did not just still play. Ended the game on a 30-yard scramble in which he still took a hit. Which, hey, look, when we watching it, we like, damn, man, what a warrior. And it's like, dog, stop doing this shit.
Not me. I wasn't saying that.
I wasn't saying that. Man.
There were people on the timeline being like, what a warrior, right? But that's the stuff that needs to, like, hey, man, health needs to be a priority to him. And that's the thing I'm wondering, like, is he going to think he's going to come back from these injuries and be fine? I joke about it, but, man, he turned 28, dog. That body don't react the same. Hey, man, that finger injury not going to go away after you sleep, dog. Like, it's going to still be there for a whole week. Like, you keep fucking around like this, especially all that damage he done did. And then I look back at his injury history. One of the things you see all the time when you look at Deshaun Watson's injury history, return too soon. Mm-hmm. Comes back too soon. All the time.
Coach game.
I mean, like, even going back to college, he returned from an ACL injury too early at Clemson. Mm-hmm. And he got hurt. Health has to be a bigger priority than whatever image of toughness he's trying to put out there.
I think when he came back, I think when he came back against the Colts, he was trying to prove a point. I'm like, hey, man, you don't need to prove a point to these people, man. Like, you were clearly not healthy by the way that you were playing. And the way that he was playing, I'm like, yeah, you should have sat out a week. So, I blame him for that. But I feel like a part of me thinks, like, he's trying to prove to people that, he's trying to take on that identity of Cleveland. I'm like, hey, man, you don't got to prove nothing to these damn people, man. Just go out there and play ball. That's all I ask.
What are you trying to prove, bro? This is the thing, dog. We don't need you to play like you trying to prove people wrong anymore, bro. Like, I just need you to fit in. That's all I need you to do. Just fit in. Do what Kevin tell you to do. Just do what Kevin tell you to do. Keep yourself out of harm's way. Make the plays when they're there. Hit the layups. That's all I need you to do, dog. We don't need you to be Superman here. We really don't. As a matter of fact, I actually would say it's pretty detrimental to what we got going on in Cleveland right now, dog. Yeah, just do the small stuff. Do the small stuff. That's all we need.
Yeah, because the last quarterback who tried to be Superman, you already know how that turned out. I was there when Baker tried to be like Superman against the Arizona Cardinals in 2021. That was a quiet car ride home. That was a quiet car ride home. I got in the car with my dad. We went back home. I didn't say nothing. And the following day I woke up. I'm like, damn, man, Baker might be trash, dog. Like, I just woke up in disbelief. And my dad texted me while I woke up. He said, you coming around on Baker? I'm like, yeah, I might be. And I just shook my head.
You take away anything from this podcast, Black Dad Wisdom, 2 for 2. 2 for 2. Hey.
That was your Baker moment.
Listen to your dad, dog.
that game was your come to Jesus moment on Baker. That
Christmas game that really contemplated so many things. Because
Dog,
my
when I had
mom
to,
saw me in the living room and I was just sitting there in disbelief. I'm like, and my dad called me. I didn't even answer the phone. I saw my dad on the caller ID. I'm like, not even going to answer.
no.
I just sat there. I sat there in disgust. I'm like, get this man.
Ooh, I am having a very bad day. Today,
I am in no mood.
he's just sitting on there despondent.
Shout out Stephen A, man. Shout out
Looking
Stephen
like
A, giving
Stephon
us
Diggs
classics.
every time he was looking like Stephon Diggs every time the Bills get eliminated. Just,
Oh, man. Just standing there.
oh, the TV's still on. They got the news on. He's still looking at that shit like the game's still on. You know your team took a bad L when you watching the local news after the game go off the fucking air. Like you haven't even changed.
Bro,
You just sitting there like, nah, man, it's got to come back on, dog. That couldn't have been real.
No, when your favorite team get their ass beat, you literally just be in shock for like 15 minutes.
No, see, getting your ass beat is one thing, right? Because you get over that by the time the game ends. It is when your team, like the Jets game in 2022, when you do some shit like that, where it's like, hey man, I thought we was going to win. Like when you think you about to win in the third quarter, and then it's the fourth quarter and you lost. Like, no, that's when that TV stay on and you giving the local news an extra viewer. Okay, like you just watching. It's Kenny Crumpton on TV right now. You still waiting for the Browns game to come the fuck back on. Cause ain't no way. When you miss a field goal that could have set when you missed a field goal that could have set the game into overtime, that is the face that you have.
Shout out Kenny Crumpton, man. You just reminded me of Kenny.
Kicking it with Kenny. Shout out, man.
Shout out kicking it with Kenny.
That has happened to me twice this year because I watch the Seahawks sometimes. So I watched them play against the Ravens. I watched that whole game, by the way. And I'm like sitting there thinking, did we just get our ass kicked like that? Like I was just looking around and the Browns were on. So I'm like, I don't care if the Browns won. The Ravens just literally kicked our ass. And I just watched every single minute of it. And don't even get me started on what happened on Thanksgiving with the Seahawks, with the 49ers. I'm like, hey man, this team might be trash, bro. Like I was just sitting there in disbelief. Like I can't watch this anymore. Like when your team is getting taken to the woodshed, it's like you want to fight back, but you just can't. You just got to sit there and just watch it happen.
This is when I was out on Baker Mayfield. It was that same game. It was Christmas Day against the Packers. And I was trying to really just figure out what happened in that game. And I said to myself, you know, it's crazy. He threw all them interceptions. Might have been the best game he played in 4 weeks. Because he had been so much worse. He had been so much worse. Because before that game was the game that killed QnCOLB, right? That was the 4 interception game.
I don't want to talk
right?
about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
Think about that. That's the kind of run he was on. He did that. He did another. There was that. The Detroit game was in that run. And then he had that Green Bay game, and he came back around on Monday Night Football in Big Ben's retirement record and almost gave TJ Watt the fucking sack record. And then he decided he didn't want to play no more. I was like, how is anybody still rocking with this, man? Like,
please don't make me relive that. Please don't make me.
That was the worst month I've ever experienced in my life when it comes to the Browns. I was like, ain't no way. Every time I think it's gotten so bad, it's got to get better. It gets worse. It gets so much worse. And then you know what? That season fucked with us because we thought we was going to turn it around because we beat the Bengals out of nowhere. Just beat the fuck out the Bengals. We was like, oh, we fixed it. We just cut Odell and we beat the shit out the Bengals. We back, baby. Ooh. reality came smacking back at us quick that year. That was look. Everybody talk about everything else with Baker. Nobody want to talk about how that 2021 season ended. Those stretches exist too with Baker Mayfield, and Tampa Bay about to be paying a significant amount of money for what I'm pretty sure is going to be a pretty significant stretch of that to Baker Mayfield. Which, hey man, shout out to them.
Hey man, Baker got his money, man. You can't be mad at that. He got his money.
Hey, let's make sure he gets it. Let's make sure he gets it. But we know it's a mistake when they do it. But yeah, that back to the Browns though. Like, I think they're fine. I think literally the Browns. I think this is like the least I've been worried about this team during the offseason. They're gonna get Nick Chubb back. Sounds like Nick Chubb's working really hard. They might be able to trade Jack Conklin for something. Maybe some cap space. That's what I'm hoping for. You know, maybe get rid of him for like a 5th round pick. Somebody eat that cap. Be nice. Add some guys. They're going to restructure a bunch of contracts. I wouldn't be surprised they extended Nick Chubb a little bit to free up some space for this year. They're going to be pretty good. They were a really good team last year. Their biggest problem was injuries, right? We'll see if Deshaun lives up to being a $230 million quarterback, even though every year, every offseason, $230 million feels like less money. But Baker might break that. Like, that ain't shit no more. That ain't shit no more. Mm-hmm.
Jordan Love might break that for real.
Jordan Love is going to break that.
Jordan Love might break that for real.
I wouldn't do that. Wouldn't do that.
Hey, somebody's going to do it, though. He's young. They've only seen 1 year.
If you ignore that very last play, it looked pretty good. So it looked like a good idea if you ignore that last play.
Well, it's like if you ignore all the bad Jordan Love stretches, right? Because there have been stretches where Jordan Love looks like the most uncoordinated franchise quarterback you've ever seen in your life, where you're like, this dude has no athletic ability. Like, he has no coordination. He's like a good athlete. Let me rephrase it. Jordan Love is a good athlete who's not coordinated. Like, he be falling over a lot for a dude as athletic as he is. Because he be throwing the ball on the run, all this shit. But then he'll fall during like a quarterback sneak. Like, it's just weird shit like that. So he's hard to get a grasp on. But he's so young and he played so well in the playoffs. Somebody gonna give him top money. If it ain't the Green Bay Packers, it's gonna be somebody. And you know what? Shout out to the who did this? Who lost? Shout out to the Cowboys for making another millionaire, a black millionaire at that. You know what I mean? Dak for the people.
Dak got for the people. Dak not for the people.
Dak giving back. Dak giving back, man.
More like Dak the Blue.
No. Hey, Jordan Love loves Dak Prescott, man. He loves Dak Prescott. He like, hey, thank you for what you changed my life. Hey, shout out. Who would have thought the NFC?
Meme? Hey, you know that Drewski meme?
Yep.
We changed this, bro.
What the fuck is life? Hey, real talk. Nobody changes more lives of mediocre quarterbacks than the NFC East. Nobody does. Nobody changes more lives. I mean, they got nothing but mediocre quarterbacks in the NFC East. And then if you go up and you beat one of them NFC East teams, your mediocre quarterback might get their life changed too. Baker Mayfield. Like, Baker Mayfield. About to get that bag off the NFC East. Jordan Love about to get that bag off the NFC East. Hey, man, somebody's about to get the $300 million simply because they beat the Cowboys. And I wonder who. Brock Purdy is going to get $300 million in his next contract, and he's going to do it off the head of the fucking Cowboys. I already know it. You know he's going to put up like 405 on them bitches, and then they're going to give him the $300 million over 5 right then and there. It ain't that far. Joe Burrow got what, 275?
Mm-hmm.
It's coming. Hey, and the way they like Brock Purdy, and it's underpaid as Brock Purdy's been. You gonna run me the max? By the way, Brock Purdy not taking a pay cut. He done did his time.
He was a 7th round pick. He definitely ain't taking no pay cut.
Bro, I've been making
right.
Brock Brock Purdy been making sports talk salaries, all right, for the last 4 years.
It's over
He not
with.
taking no pay cut, dog.
That's
Stephen
over with.
Stephen A. Smith has made much more money than Brock Purdy in the last 5 years, dog. Like, there's no shot that he's taking a pay cut. He's running the $300 million. When's his contract due?
I think next year.
Oh yeah. So here's what's going to happen. Baker going to run it to 230. Like, so the mediocre quarterback bag's going to go up, and then Tua still got to get paid.
That one's gonna be funny. That one's gonna be interesting.
They going to do it.
That's gonna be interesting.
They going to do it, brother. They going to do it.
Because you can't give him the money, man. You cannot give him the money.
Every time we say this, we acknowledge that it's a bad idea, and teams end up doing it anyways. Maybe the one quarterback we were like, hey, man, you cannot give him that money. And they decided to give him that money. Maybe the one quarterback they did not get the money to that we thought should have get the money. They gave the money to fucking Jimmy Garoppolo, who got benched by Aiden O'Connell, and they never looked back. That's the second late round pick that has replaced him in the last 3 years.
Yeah, man. This gonna be a funny day when Tua get that bag. When he get that bag, it's gonna be a funny day.
And when he gets that bag and resets the market, Jordan Love about to reset the market, and Tua's about to be like, well, I got to do it again. We won't be talking about Tua Tagovailoa, a $285 million quarterback.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
And then we're going to be talking about Brock Purdy, $295 million at quarterback. And then just when you think it gets ridiculous enough, you know who's up for a new deal? It's Pat Mahomes.
Hey, that 400 gonna be crazy.
Hey, that 400 over 40 about to be nuts, dog. Woo. Hey, Deshaun will not have the guaranteed contract record for long. Like, somebody is getting over 230. Like what? Joe Burrow already at like 229?
Yeah, it was like 229 or something crazy.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. Tua might break that. And look, we feel just as sure about the shot as they feel about Tua. Which is the same. Oh, hey, man, both teams are at a position where we're like, hey, man, we'll see what happens with this motherfucker. Apparently, that's worth a lot of money. Hey, man, somebody could fuck up and give Russ money this offseason. We haven't even accounted for that.
Why do I feel like the Steelers are about to do that? I feel like the Steelers are
somebody could fuck up. Look, Russ agent could get in there and be like, 26 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. This is the price. This is what they get. Jordan Love just did this. So this is what Russ is worth. 280.
I pray the Steelers do it. I hope the Steelers do it. I hope they
or
do
even nastier, 170 over 3.
Get your money, Russ. Get your money, black man. Get your money, black man.
And you know Kirk Cousins don't fuck around. You think Kirk Cousins looking at the Deshaun Watson contract thinking he not about to get something? Like, he from around the way. He leaving here with something. Like, he started this shit. And Kirk Cousins is a soldier boy of fully guaranteed contracts. You think he about to just let this shit happen to him? As a free agent? Deshaun, the man who has.
Kirk was in a pool with chains on at that last Viking game.
He said in the message. He said in the message.
Every cent. I need all of it.
He tried to buy Coles, dog. Like, hey, people were like, let's just get Kirk Cousins. You think that's gonna be cheap? Just go get Kirk Cousins. Yeah, Kirk Cousins ain't going nowhere unless he making at least 45, dog. Like, and that 45 got to be in the bank account today. Like, some of y'all ain't got it like that. Like, nah, man. Kirk about to run it up. Russ about to run it up. Jordan Love about to run it up. Baker Mayfield about to run it up. Hell, it's going to be a hell of a battle to see which one of these quarterbacks sign first because that's the sucker.
Mm-hmm. You trying to wait? No, I need Tua to sign. I need Tua to sign his first.
Oh, Tua. like which one of you suckers are about to take the worst deal? Hey, I know for a fact the two who won't. Russ and Kirk.
Nah, they wait.
Hey,
Nope.
Russ just had to smack somebody, dog, like over his money. You think he about to sign that deal first? Get the fuck out, Russ face, man.
You know who signed it first. You know who signed it first.
Oh, Baker.
100%.
I'm just happy to be here, boss. He understand his fraud too. Yeah. You didn't even read how much we're giving. Whatever it is, you're gonna regret it in like 4 years. It doesn't matter.
Hey, get to the super chats, dog. Just get to the super chat.
Oh shit, Jared Goff, is he doing a new contract? Oh,
I think so. I think he might be doing a new contract.
oh my God.
Ooh.
Hey, Brock Purdy, $300 million quarterback is happening. Oh shit. Brock Purdy, $300 million quarterback is happening. CJ Stroud might be a billionaire. By the time we get to CJ might be able to buy Apple with this contract. Oh shit. Oh, he's not just he's in the last year of his deal. So he's going to get an extension. I think his deal ends in 2025. He's an unrestricted free agent.
Ooh.
But yeah, man, let me tell you something. He only scheduled for $0 guaranteed. That contract's up. Like, as far as Jared Goff and his people are concerned, this contract is done. Like, my guarantees have been up for a couple of years. Yeah, Jared about to run that shit up. You know what, Jared? Win the fucking Super Bowl, man. Lamar already got his money. I'll try to see this shit go national. Like,
hey, you are sick.
Yeah. Run it up, Jared. Run it up.
Ooh,
Hey,
you sick.
Jared Goff, first team, all bank. One thing you can't play with Jared Goff, he got them checks. We didn't think he deserved the first bag, and he about to get the second one, dog. We spent all his first contract complaining about how bad of a contract that was for Jared Goff. The Rams traded out of it. It was such a bad contract. And he's about to walk out of this contract and get himself a fatter contract. Shout out to Jared Goff. Get the bag all-star. Get the bag first ballot Hall of Fame. Put his fucking gold jacket, green jacket on. Put that shit on, Jared. Put that get the bag, legend. Who else a legend like that? Like Dak? Dak only got the one deal, right?
Yeah, Dak only got that one deal.
Yeah,
So
not
not
that. Nope. Like Kirk Cousins, he about to get his get the bag ring.
Oh, get the bag go. Kirk
Oh
Cousins,
yeah.
get the bag go.
Innovator. Deshaun Watson is not here without Kirk Cousins. Hey, if Deshaun gets a second contract, get the bag all-star.
Yeah. If he finesse another one,
and we're not even going to be mad at it because it's like, hey, if Deshaun needs you on a Super Bowl run, but we kind of know. Like, all right, man, fucking 5 more years.
I don't know. Andrew Berry might be like, thanks for the run.
That's the thing. Andrew might trade him. Remember, Andrew wanted to trade Baker Mayfield in 2020. But yeah, it's gonna be some crazy bags getting out there, chat. Did I miss anybody? Yeah, Jared's about to run it up. That's if we really about to be talking about. Like, is Baker gonna get a like? Do you think Baker is at the point where he could get a league maximum, like a resetting the contract deal, or is he gonna be in that? He's in the Daniel Jones, like. But Daniel Jones is
he might get the Daniel Jones ring, but if I were Tampa, I do what Seattle did with Geno, is give him that contract and try to move off of him in a year, because the down year will happen eventually. But if they give him a Daniel Jones level contract, Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
Hey, Baker Mayfield signs extension with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 170 over 3.
I'm like, oh, that's that. Thank you for last year. Thank you for last year deal.
Hope you enjoyed this run, young brother. Mike Evans, get the fuck out of there. Hey, that Tua contract, $280 million over 5. Well, we don't have to worry about the Dolphins anymore. It was a nice run, Mike McDaniel. But you about to get fired in a year or two, dog. Like, that's nuts.
Dog, we really opened this pod up laughing at Karl Anthony Towns, and people want us to do that.
I know. I feel like we know for being bullies. Like, I'm not great. I don't feel great about the reputation we have amassed among the people.
Hey, man, the people like it. It is what it is.
All right, let's get to these super chats, man. John Thorne says, just want to say what's up and thank you for making my day less boring. Appreciate that.
We appreciate that. Appreciate that. Hope you got some laughs, man. Hope you got some laughs.
Mm-hmm. We make you laugh, cry, and sometimes we make you think. You know, it's a 3-level podcast.
You forgot the fourth level. You forgot the fourth level.
Oh yeah, sometimes we make you furious, but that's subside. We'll hit you with the next laugh. Don't worry. If you're mad for you're gonna be mad for like 10 minutes. You get the next laugh though. You know, it's right there. Oh yeah, that's why I like them. Like, you be all right. That's why this is a 3-hour pod, baby. Mike says Isaiah Thomas and Muggsy Bogues probably hate Cat. I can't think of somebody who hates how Cat kicks it more than Isaiah Thomas. Both of them.
There's levels to that. There are some levels to that.
I keep seeing his big ass stand out there shoot threes. I'ma choke him. You know how you know how he smiled when he say everything, right? Like, I'm gonna kill him. Like, hey, dudes who used to fight in the 80s, they all smile when they talk. Like, you ever get an old head talk to you like, hey, young fella, you don't want to do that? That's somebody who might choke you out, dog. Like, he was like that in the 80s. I don't know if you want to try that. Like,
hey, you ever seen them old photos of the Isley brothers? When they used to wear all the like sequins and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, with the belts and the fingerless gloves.
Yeah, and everybody was like, hey, y'all cracking jokes, but them are the dudes who would literally murder you. Mm-hmm. I ain't back in the day.
And then walk away slinking off like this and shit. Like with your girl.
like them was the dudes you used to leave alone back in the day.
Look. Ooh. Hey, Magic Johnson be smiling. He also used to fight a ton. You know who I've never seen fight? Kareem. Kareem never smiled. It was a reverse situation back then, dog. Mike Wack says, no, I already got Mike Wack. Ray Rag says, I've been saying this all year. Josh Allen equals Brett Favre 2.0. His refusal to take a 6-yard throw they were giving him on the last drive ruined any chance that they have to win.
Hey man, I'm not gonna lie. I felt like that one throw where people were mad where he threw it in the end zone. I feel like that was the right decision. The execution was just terrible.
Yeah, I mean, like I thought that would have been a touchdown if it was there. He was. Yeah, right. It was there. You can't ask Josh Allen. Like, here's the thing: you can't ask Josh Allen to not be Josh Allen. You know what you're dealing with. So if you're gonna have Josh Allen being Josh Allen, you got to have guys who can win downfield.
I'm be real, bro. I feel like he didn't really make any mistakes, any like huge mistakes in that game, dog.
No,
like,
the Chiefs literally made all the big mistakes in that game. They still fucking won.
They still won. He had drops. They weren't on him. Like, he had like 3 different drops down the field.
This is what makes that loss even more devastating for the Buffalo Bills. The Chiefs did everything wrong that they could do wrong, and
Bills everything right. They
except for run that DeMar Hamlin fake punt.
Yeah.
We can't forget that one. But they did mostly everything right. They still couldn't do it. It's done. It's cooked. You ain't never beaten them. This is like when the Clippers lost that 3-1 series and Josh Smith was the one that took them out. Like when Josh Smith takes you out because he's making threes. Remember that one? The Rockets?
Man.
Yeah.
That's the Lob City Clippers too. Dang.
Yeah, that was JJ Redick. And Josh Smith took him out shooting threes, which was hilarious because we all know Josh Smith couldn't shoot. Josh Smith. Yes. When that shit happens to you, it's a wrap. You ain't never, even when it's the fucking Rockets, you're never getting past them. Like James Harden, unlucky playoff ass, still. That's just when you knew it was never happening.
James Harden plays for the Clippers right now. That's gonna be funny.
With Russ. They have the all-time, and they got Russ and PG. They have the all-time hilarious playoff team. And then they have him paired with probably like one of the most impressive playoff performers in NBA history, in Kawhi Leonard. Like, how much can Kawhi do? Like,
I wonder how it's gonna go because they win it right now. They're winning.
Do you remember when James Harden and Russell Westbrook played against each other in the first round of the playoffs? It was a game 7, and it was the most hilarious 3 minutes to the end of a game 7 because it was literally both teams were just fumbling the game away, and then James made a fucking free throw shot and it ended the game. Like that's who they have in crunch time, dog. They got both of them, and they wearing Clippers jerseys, so you know it's a negative 30 buff on them. Like, that's nuts, dog. It's nuts. Hey, man, think what you want about the Lakers. If they play the Clippers, they winning, dog. Like, I have the Lakers. Like, I have whoever they're playing. It could be the fucking Pelicans. I have whoever they play in the first round over them. But back to the super chats. Let's get back to the people. Big Cav with the pair of super chats. Us Browns fans shouldn't talk trash about Baker getting absolutely destroyed by a rookie head coach and a rookie quarterback. Hey, man, why you talking about old shit, Cav? Like, we had 26% of salary cap on IR. They had 100% of Baker Mayfield. Fuck out my face.
Hey man, can we establish this once and for all, bro? We don't hate Baker. You know who we hate? We hate Baker stands. Hate Baker stands.
We don't hate Baker Mayfield. We hate you, Baker Mayfield stands.
I respect Baker. The Baker Bros. Oh yeah, y'all can go to hell. Honestly, the deepest part. I don't like them. I really don't. Like, I respect Baker for the time that he was here, but the fan base, very annoying, very irritating. Like, it's just to a point where I can't even root for the player right way because y'all got to gas him up. And I'm like, that's why y'all, this is one of my main issues with that group. Like, enough. Like, we get it. Dude is the best thing you've ever seen. Still don't matter. He ain't Cleveland no more, but, you know, what do I know? That's all I got to say about that.
And the fits be terrible.
You are aligned with Skip Bayless. Think about that.
Oh, God.
You are aligned with Skip Bayless in 2024. I want you to really consider the path that you are on when you are aligned with Skip Bayless.
You was talking about the fits. No, when you brought up the fits, the dude
the fits.
with the Jordans.
The fits are terrible. The fits are terrible. That's my main issue with the Baker stands. It's like, I'm not about to have this shit taught to me by somebody in no puffy Jordans. Get the fuck out of my face. Like, I work too hard. to sit here and have this conversation with a man with puffy Jordans. Like, get the fuck out of my face. I'm sorry.
Puffy Jordans is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Jordans, man.
The Jordans look like they squeak when they touch the ground. Get the fuck out of here, dog. Like, I'm like, I'm definitely Jordan brand, ain't they? Like, they not Jordans, they Jordan brand. You did not stand at any line. You didn't have to order them online. You just went straight to the store and bought them shits, didn't you? Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. It's the fits. It's the fits. With your Reebok Baker Mayfield jersey on. Like, come on now. Come on. Not about to argue with you.
Not the Reebok.
It's like why I don't argue. It's why I don't argue with Dallas Cowboy fans Did you see?
Jean shorts.
Did you see?
Jean
Hey, did you
shorts.
see what my man Cam put on Twitter when they lost? He put a picture of them blue 13.
The blue 13s, you already know.
He was like, "In the eyes of an angel." Oh man, when the Cowboys lose, it's so funny. I'm mad they can only do it in the playoffs once. Like, why can't the Cowboys lose in the playoffs every round? Like, can we just bring them back so they can lose again? Like,
Oh Lord.
the best thing about the NFL season is when the Cowboys lose a high profile game. There's nothing better.
Oh man, Stephen A. Smith is the funniest man in the world. When the Dallas Cowboys lose, he's the funniest man on the planet.
He turned into Eddie Murphy in the 80s, dog. Like, it's
He be locked in, dog. He be locked in.
He on their ass, dog.
On their ass immediately. Talking shit to Michael Irvin.
He turned like LeBron down 3-1. He just coming back, backtracking, blocking shit. Like, my guy Big Kev for the other super chat says, saying he didn't want to win in Cleveland don't mean nothing, especially after 45-14 in the wild card and Watson completely is regressing in Cleveland. I guess Big Kev is not a fan of what we were saying. It's okay, Big Kev. It's okay.
You'll be all right.
It's all right, man.
All right.
I hope your fit's good. Like, I hope you're not a Baker Mayfield fan. Like,
Like, if you just heard about the playoff loss, that's one thing, man. We all heard about that. But like,
Yeah, I moved on.
you know what? I'm going to sound off. I hate Browns fans who be doing that shit. Right? They want the approval of other fan bases fans, so they go out of their way to be like, well, we shouldn't be acting like that. I'm like, there's a word for what you're doing that's not ever appropriate for me to call you in this context, but I can't think of a better way to vocabularize what I want to call you, but I'm not. So it's that. You know what I mean? Like,
the one cuss word we don't say on here.
You can't say that.
It's not a cuss word. It's a description. But, you know, like, I mean, you usually don't get called this for no reason. But, you know, like, I just feel like it's a lot of like, oh, please, it's a lot of pick me activity. How about that? You know, okay, there we go. We go get it's pick me, right? Oh, we shouldn't be happy. We got beaten. Shut up. Okay, we ain't talking about none of that shit right now. We talking about Baker Mayfield throwing an interception. Stop it. Stop it.
Pick me, man.
Stop getting people to try to like you. They don't like you. Okay.
Like,
they gonna be making Deshaun jokes the second it becomes cool to make them again, and you gonna be the recipient of it. It's like with Deshaun, we be like, oh man, he trying to earn the people back. You ain't never earning these motherfuckers back, Sean. So just fucking dog. They're never gonna be on your side again, and that's fair. So like, just let it go. Stop trying to win the people back. You ain't winning them. Ain't a touchdown big enough for you to win the people back.
I'm gonna keep it a bean, bro. Even if you win a Super Bowl, you're not gonna win these people back. As a matter of fact, they're gonna get even more angry.
It's a controversial Super Bowl. Look,
first Super Bowl win.
Deshaun Watson makes a Super Bowl. We gonna hear Jim Nance in that Jim Nance tone, right? Where you gotta talk about something serious. Like whenever there's an injured player, he goes from, hey, welcome to the Super Bowl. He's like, well, it's an interesting tone around the Super Bowl this year with controversial quarterback Deshaun Watson at the helm of the Cleveland Browns. Well, you know, it's not really about Deshaun. They're going to be highlighting the fuck out of Myles Garrett. Okay, like, and Nick Chubb.
Hey,
there is nothing he can do.
All the touchdown passes, but not showing who throwing them.
Hey, he going to start celebrating. Cut. High five, Nick Chubb. Okay. Oh, Kevin, what's Kevin doing? Look, man, them people in that broadcast truck, ready to, take two. Like,
you're gonna see a lot of Kevin. You're gonna see a lot of Kevin Stefanski fist pumps.
Hey, you're gonna be like, why is the sky cam on the sideline when the Browns are on offense? It's gonna be a lot of fan shots. It's gonna be about the city of Cleveland. That's what this gonna be about. Like, ain't nothing he gonna ever do.
I'm perfectly fine with that.
He's not gonna win the people back. The people don't want him to be won back. There's no redemption story to be had here, dog. Just play. Like, that's it. Just play. You're not winning nobody back, man. But yeah, man. Yeah. I hate fans who be doing that pick me shit. Stop it. Stop it right now. I gotta be reasonable. And then the other Bengals, like the other fans, like, oh, reasonable Browns fan. They get off on that shit. Shut up.
Man, speaking of Bengal fans, they've been talking a lot lately, and it's just annoying stuff. It's like, I think it was Sunday, they were saying, oh, I can't believe, I think someone made a post about Joe Burrow, and they was like, oh, the playoffs miss Joe Burrow. I'm like, no, they don't. Like,
no, we don't.
We don't.
No, we don't.
Like, enough, man. Like, it's every week they bringing it up. I'm like, y'all are at home because y'all went 1-5 in the AFC North. You let Mason Rudolph throw for over 300 in front of a national audience.
Curtis, I will say this though. The motherfuckers live in Cincinnati or Cincinnati adjacent. They gotta have something to talk about, right? It ain't like they could do shit with their time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they live in Cincinnati. Like, if they want to talk about Joe Burrow for an extra couple weeks, like, that's what they got to do, because the state fair ain't till like, 3 weeks? And that's the next shit that they got coming in town. Like, that's all they got is Chili and the Cincinnati Bengals. And the Reds ain't playing right now. So, like, they ain't got no team. Like, they just, look, man, I got accused of being classes here for my takes on streaming boxes. And I feel like we just got to treat Cincinnati like, we can't make fun of their clothes. We know they broke, man. Like
all right. Come on,
man. Like, it's not fair. Like, let the boys be happy about Joe Burrow, man. They ain't got nothing else to be happy about. Like,
it's just I'm trying to enjoy the games, and they just got to bring it up. I'm like, all right, man, we get it for the second consecutive week.
They have one Red Lobster in that city, dog. There is nothing to do on a Saturday night. Like, of course they're going to be out here talking about Joe. What else are they supposed to do? You blame the circumstance, Curtis, not the result, not the circumstance, man. You got to fight the power on that one, dog.
Hey, Q is crazy, bro.
Look, I find new and inventive ways to disrespect teams I don't like. That's why they hate me so much. Right? That's why there always be like a Raven fan in here, because I'll be finding ways to get on their skin. I'll just be saying the same shit. Nah, I'll be hitting them with that different shit. Like Roquan Smith average depth of tackle. You ever look at that shit? 4.5 yards. Ooh, tackle machine though. You know where that's at? 30th. You know where JOK is at? Top 2. Under 1.
Speaking of Roquan, I'm interested to see how Pacheco looks against Roquan. I'm interested to see how that goes.
Hey man, for Roquan's sake, better have a good game.
Oh, that's gonna be a funny pod. That's gonna be a funny pod. You thought the cat segment was funny.
Oh, don't let Pat do it to you, Roquan.
You thought that cat? Y'all thought that cat stuff was funny?
Job's not done, Roquan. Job's not done, Roquan. Yeah. Hey, he was talking big boy shit before that Texas game. We about to kick them out of their misery. Okay, what you about to say before you play Pat? Say the wrong thing to Pat when you touch him in the backfield. And Pat will be like, you motherfucker, I'm coming right after you. Yeah, Roquan's talking shit. I'm like that.
Oh, there's the curve. There's the cover.
Hey, my guy, Pat Mahomes about to be, hey, they doubted me. They didn't think I could do it because I was on the road.
Do we have more super chats?
In fact, we do. Ray Rags 14 says. Hey, if I ever get a job at ESPN, I got to delete this channel.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
They're going to be like, explain this clip. Well, that's my Pat Mahomes voice. And that sounds like Pat. Don't act like y'all don't be thinking about that when he trucks somebody. Like when Pat broke off that 40-yarder against the Buffalo Bills.
Can you not? Can you just not? Can you just not do it?
You motherfuckers can't touch me. I'm nice. You didn't know I could move like that, huh?
Oh, I'm so sick of this dude, bro.
Ray Rag says, is there another team of coach that's gotten more out of one championship than Doc Rivers and the '08 Celtics?
No. Literally no.
Hey man, think about like how much run Doc Rivers and that team got that one championship, and how little that shit mattered to Frank Vogel's rest of his career. Like, Frank Vogel won that one championship. It didn't mean nothing. Ty Lue won that one championship in 2016. He out here coaching the fucking Clippers.
Hey man, if you hear those old Celtics players talk about that '08 title, you would think they won like 3 straight.
Yeah,
it's so funny. It's so funny to me.
Well, you know,
the Lakers went back to back, right? The Lakers went back to back right after that, and they don't even talk about it like that.
To be fair, you know, the Boston Celtics are a historic franchise in the NBA, and they're the bedrock foundation of the NBA. And honestly, the NBA isn't here without Boston Celtics greats like Larry Bird and Bob Cousy and guys like that. And, you know, like, I think, you know, you're letting your purple and gold fanaticism kind of cloud your judgment of this whole situation. But the reason they talk about the '08 championship so much is because it's the greatest championship of all time, simply because it's the last time the Celtics were relevant. So like, and that means that's the last time that the NBA was relevant, because the NBA is only relevant when the Celtics win. You know, the Lakers could never carry that torch. The next super chat.
How did you feel? Did it make you feel good when you did that? When you did
all
that
great.
Bullshit?
Yeah, it felt great. It felt great.
The Lakers have won 3 titles since that title happened.
Hey, look, if the Lakers were like that, Frank Vogel would be milking that championship like the Boston Celtics are milking that one from '08. You know, they just don't beat as much over there in Lakerland.
When Bron win the title, he get the credit.
See, that's the problem. You know,
sorry, Frank.
It's all about the individual out there in LA. It's not about the team. Red Auerbach won. All right. Q got Pat Mahomes, like Novascope got on Brady. Okay, fuck you, Ray Rags. Yeah, that's the Canaries. Tony, well, we already got that one. So Soul Train says, how big of a deal is getting a left tackle right this year? Hey, dog, I don't know what to tell y'all. 71 gonna be the left tackle.
Yeah, outside of somebody becoming available that we don't foresee becoming available, they can actually get. It's gonna be Jed. It's gonna be Jed.
No, it don't matter if somebody's available. Unless you draft somebody who could take over for Jed.
I was about to say that too.
Yeah. That's the only way you can get out of it. Because Jed's about to make $20 million this year. That motherfucker blocking, dog. And you know what? After watching Garyon Christian for 8 weeks, I'm ready to see Jed again. Okay. He was out here like, Garyon Christian, it's better than Jed Wills.
No.
You're not watching close enough.
No.
Like Jed will block somebody for at least 2 seconds. Like Garyon, you would even got it. Like, he was slid out there, dog.
No disrespect to Garyon at all, but
this is a disrespectful conversation. It just is what it is, man. Like it ain't no disrespect or respect on this, dog. It's just, hey, dog, he got cooked. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he gonna be good in the UFL though. My guy Ray Rags he's good enough to stay in. Well, no, he was out the league before the Browns picked him up. He might get a futures. Hey, but you know who we are going to see in that spring league? Leroy Watson, who is playing fucking right tackle against Will Anderson in that playoffs game.
You know he only like 265 or something crazy like that? Because he used to be a tight end. Yeah, nope. Man, he ain't big enough.
So you telling me we would have been better off just putting David Njoku at right tackle?
Maybe.
And then he couldn't run routes. Cole, as good as Mike Tomlin has been, only had one season since 2018 with more than 10 wins, and the Steelers are almost at Marvin Lewis levels of complacency with him. Ooh, they kind of are like the Marvin Lewis Bengals.
I hope they stay there. I hope he don't never get fired again. I hope he stays. Keep him right where he is. Keep him right where he is. That's what we need. That's
Still
what
your
we
favorite
need.
coach?
Yeah, always support the black man, especially if he helping us, especially if he helping the Browns in the long run.
Is there another dude? Wait, who are all the black head coaches in the NFL right now?
D'Amico Ryans.
Okay.
Mike McDaniels.
Oh yeah. Forget it.
Football logic. You know what I'm saying? Football logic. I feel like did somebody else just get hired?
Antonio Pierce.
Oh, Gerard Mayo.
Antonio
Pierce.
Pierce. Yeah, they just got hired.
They
And
just said-
dude in Tampa.
Todd Bowles.
Todd Bowles. Yeah, Todd Bowles.
Hey man, they really said we ain't never giving Eric Bieniemy this fucking job, dog. Like, what did he do?
No, he ain't never getting a job.
Hey, we made that uproar about Eric Bieniemy getting a job, and the owners were like, "Let me tell you something. You just ruined his future."
As a matter of fact, we go hire other black coaches.
Yeah. We gonna start hiring brothers from the defensive side of the ball since y'all want to talk shit. Like, I'm like, damn, what, Antonio Pierce? D'Amico Ryans? Like, that's nuts. That's nuts.
I'm happy Antonio Pierce got his job, though. I feel like he deserved it.
Nobody is even talking about Eric Bieniemy should have that job at Washington.
No.
That's how far we just gave up on it. We like, you know what, man? I feel bad for Eric Bieniemy because he got used as this thing, right? To push this idea that was valid. Like, hey, there's not enough black head coaches. And he was the dude that was super qualified that wasn't getting a job. And he got used as the point. And he is definitely getting punished for that. And he had nothing to do with that shit. He was just doing his job well. And now it's like, well, can you bring him in? He's controversial. For what did he do? To who is he controversial to?
You know what's crazy?
By the way, 4,000 yard passer every year he's been an offensive coordinator.
Crazy. People were like, why isn't Brian Flores getting head coaching jobs? I was like, well, he has an active lawsuit against the NFL. So that is 100%.
Hey, man, Brian Flores should be happy. He's still in the fucking league.
Yeah, that is 100%. He's a great defensive coordinator. Great defensive coordinator. But at 100%, he's not getting a head coaching job ever.
Well,
yeah.
Like he's still in the league because it would be bad optics to his lawsuit if he got blackballed out of it. But yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, he
But Eric Bieniemy, man, he might never get a job. That's crazy. As good as he's been as an offensive coordinator.
Hey, man, it is. I don't know what
the Chiefs still haven't looked the same without him. Like they should hire him back.
100%. Who's their offensive coordinator? Is it Matt Nagy?
Yeah, it's Matt Nagy. It's back to Nagy.
Everything.
Which, by the way, hey, look, it looks different with Nagy than it did with Bieniemy. And the whole argument was that, well, he had Alex Smith. like, right? That was the whole argument with Nagy. I'm just saying, nobody has gotten punished for no reason like Eric Bieniemy has gotten punished for no reason. Like, absolutely no reason. He is out here being punished. Because it's not even a sniff. People ain't even mad at it. He's not even getting the Rooney Rule interviews anymore. They're giving that to Brian Johnson, who just got fired from the Eagles.
That's so crazy. Can we just get rid of the Rooney Rule? Like, can we just honestly just get rid of it, dog?
I feel
just
like
get rid of it.
It's going to get worse.
David Shaw got an interview with the Chargers. That's how bad it's gotten.
Yeah, but just
well,
get
it's
rid of
not the rule that's the problem. It's the people who are making the decisions that are the problem when why the rule is ineffective. The rule is meaningless unless people are invested in actually achieving what the spirit of the rule is meant to achieve, which is to get more people from diverse backgrounds into coaching roles. But if they're not dedicated to it, then it doesn't matter what rule that you have, it's not going to happen because that's the problem. The problem isn't that the rule is there. The problem is that they ain't trying to hire them. Like for whatever reason, they not trying to do it. And that's the bigger problem to me. You can have the rule, you cannot have the rule. But if we just focusing on the rules so much and not focusing on what the bigger problem is the people making these decisions who have already decided to consider other candidates and basically just throw away their Rooney Rule interview, then that's the thing. Like the NFL is begging people to make like competent decisions. They're begging people, hey man, just consider everybody who's qualified. You might get a 3rd round pick out of this, right? You might get this. And they're literally begging you to just consider everybody. But that's not what people want to do who are making these decisions. And the people who make the decisions also make the rules. So that's the big problem there with that. And that's not going to get solved. Because like if incentives towards winning can't solve it, which is literally how we got integration. Like, I don't know what it is, right? Because that's the story about integration. Hey, man, Alabama lost by 40 to USC. And they decided that day they needed to integrate the campus, right? Like, that's what needed to happen. If that ain't going to solve it, then I don't know what you're going to do with that, man. Like, I think the rule is kind of like we focus so much on arguing about the Rooney Rule when the issue isn't the Rooney Rule. The Rooney Rule is supposed to be there for like, okay, so make sure you at least consider one candidate. Now, they just not going to consider nobody. Like, if it ain't there. Like, that's the thing. Then you got to have anybody getting these interviews. They'll be like, oh, well, we can't have this guy be on here because he has an interview for coaching, so he's not even experienced enough in all this. And this is going to be an even worse version of what we're already living through. So, I mean, the problem's ownership. That's what needs to change. Unless that changes, then nothing will. Now we got another super chat here. I will never forgive Baker's best game of 2020 being the same game he threw 4 interceptions on Christmas too, running while at effing holiday. I told you, because he was kind of balling in between those interceptions. And I was like, I cannot live like this. I cannot continue to live like this. That's the problem with Baker Mayfield, man.
I'm not talking about that 2021 year because I have to talk about the game, and I don't want to talk about the game. I don't want to talk about it. I'm trying not to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Could you imagine that team made the playoffs that year? It like blown out by the Chiefs. How much madder we would have been at it. Like Kevin might have not survived that. Alexander says, my first time going to an NFL games was Browns at Ravens. Lamar threw 4 interceptions and we still lost. That's what I knew Baker Mayfield wasn't it.
Oh, okay, fuck it. I'm going to talk about it. I cannot believe he did that. I can't believe.
Let me look up what his numbers were in that game. I want to see.
This is what broke me. Kevin Stefanski calls a perfect screen to Nick Chubb. There is nobody within like 20 yards of him. All Baker has to do is get the ball out, and it's a touchdown, and they probably win the game. And this motherfucker fumbles the ball. I could not believe it.
Yeah, Lamar threw 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions, no rushing touchdowns.
Worst game he's ever played in his life.
20 of 32, 165. 18, Baker went 18 to 37, 247 yards, a touchdown, took 2 sacks, and he had a fumble.
I was like, I need him gone. I need him gone. I've never been that heartbroken in my entire life.
I'm so glad they lost that game, man. They would have won that game. The Browns would have made the playoffs, and they would have had to fire some people, man. That team was destined to fail. That team was so destined to fail. All right, Mike says, hey guys, great pod today as always. Shout out from the work from home crew. You guys make my day go by faster. Appreciate you, Mike. Appreciate you. Shout out to my work from home people. And then Soul Train says, Baker Bros are and this is from Soul Train. Don't get mad at me, people, because this is the white man that said this. All right, so I don't need y'all getting mad at me. I'm just repeating what was said to me. Baker Bros are the angriest white dudes on X.
Facts.
You know what I find egregious about that statement? He called Twitter X. Like, get the fuck out of here, dog. Like,
you gonna find something to antagonize somebody, dog. You gonna find something.
It's Twitter. It's Twitter. It's Twitter, man.
You gonna find anything trying to
I'm an old spirit. Like, little things bug me, man. It's the small stuff.
Oh man, you gonna find
Shout out to Soul Train, man. Shout out to Soul Train. I mess with most of what you said there. Twitter. I'm not calling it X. It's mama call it Twitter. I'ma call it Twitter.
Okay. All right.
My guy Professor Chaos says, does the Wad Jones start next season?
Absolutely.
Yes. 100%.
100%.
Ray Rag says KG and Paul Pierce act like they ruined LeBron, like those Cavs teams weren't way less talented than them.
Didn't that Cavs team, even when that year they won 2008,
they took them to 7.
I'm gonna say it went to 7.
Yeah, they took them to 7.
Yeah, it took them to 7.
Man, you know what broke my heart? We never really got that Kobe. We never got that Kobe Bryant finals that we needed. That broke my heart.
Why did it break your heart?
Because that was the all-time. That's like one of my all-time sports regrets, bro. Because we needed that. Like, just as basketball fans, we needed
just to settle the debate.
Finals. Yeah, just to settle the debate, man, and just to see it, because we never really get that, like, old generation, new generation playing against each other for a chip. Like, we never really get that.
You know what?
Really
that's
supposed to.
In a way, I think that's the best thing that LeBron like had never happened to him.
Yeah,
because he wasn't ready to beat the Lakers at that point.
Yeah,
and then people would have used that shit against him his whole career. 1,000%.
Oh yeah, Kobe would have won those debates. Kobe would still be winning those debates if that final.
I remember I had to have this debate with somebody at the barbershop talking about like Kobe and Bron. I'm like, Kobe is one of the best players of all time, and he's one of my favorite players to ever watch. But Bron is definitely better. Like, from a standpoint of, hey man, I saw what Kobe didn't have nobody around him. They was the 8 seed. Like, when LeBron didn't have anybody around him, they beat the defending world champions and somehow ended up in the NBA finals. Like, they're two different players. So it's like kind of hard to compare them. It's like the issue with comparing him to Jordan, because LeBron elevates guys in a much different way than Jordan did. But to me, it's like, that's the one thing LeBron's always been able to do, is like, it kind of don't matter. Like, when he was in his prime, he's not in his prime anymore. But when he was in his prime, it literally, you could put me, Cole, and Curtis on the fucking team with Bron. And you know what? We getting out the East.
We going to finals.
We getting out the East.
We gonna get. Hey, I want to be clear. I want to be clear. We gonna get smacked when we get to the finals. But it's gonna matter.
It's gonna matter that we got me running the 3, and Cole running point, and Curtis running the center. Like, that's gonna matter. That's gonna matter. Yeah, it's gonna matter when we play the Warriors. You know, it's gonna matter when we play the Spurs. Yeah, but hey, when we play the Pacers, hey, they gonna be like, Curtis might get a contract next year, dog. He put up 30 against them boys. Hey, Cole smacking threes. Like, look, we paid Boobie Gibson off the strength of Bron.
Shout out Boobie, man. Shout out Boobie.
Anderson Varejao had a 12-year career off the strength of Bron. Okay? We talk about Zydrunas Ilgauskas way differently than we would have ever talked about him if he had never played with LeBron James.
Hey, respect Z. He was an all-star before Bron.
Big Z. Hey, man, he was an all-star. He was the number 2 to LeBron, all of this. But let me tell you something, man. We not out here acting like Big Z is basically Austin Carr levels of royalty if he didn't play with LeBron. Like, hey, Kevin Love, he got traded from Minnesota and thrown right into that Bron backpack, baby. Like, everything you remember Kevin Love doing in the Cleveland Cavalier uniform happened after LeBron left the team. But everything that will ever get Kevin Love brought back happened during LeBron's run, right? Hey, Kevin, you did the stop, right? Like,
hey, the stop, baby.
Hey, LeBron only had to make one of the greatest defensive plays of all time. Kyrie only had to make one of the greatest NBA Finals shots of all time. You stood in front of Steph Curry while he made a bad decision. Like, that's
It still counts. He still get his moment.
Hey,
He still get his
you were
moment.
a part of it too, Kevin.
We're not gonna talk about how bad he was that finals.
We're not going to talk about the fact he had 8 points in that game.
Pretty sure Dante Jones had more.
I'm pretty sure Tristan Thompson outscored him that whole series. Because Tristan went off in game 6. Y'all forget that. Hey, Tristan went off in game 6.
That.
Hey, he had that SARS in him, dog.
Hey, people forget Mo Williams was on that team. Mo hit a couple
Mo
shots.
Williams gave you a good 4. Remember Dante Jones came in there and dunked? That's why I was like, oh, we win in game 6, dog. Dante Jones in here. This a round.
Shannon Fry was going crazy.
You know what I do? There was 2 moments I knew in which that game was over in the NBA Finals game 6. And I was like, the Cavs might win the series now. There was the Tristan Thompson alley-oop dunk to open the game where I'm like, oh, this will be on? Tristan catching these lobs? Uh-oh. And then LeBron blocked Steph Curry's shot, and then said something that we have never figured out to this day. Very aggressively in the direction of Steph. I was like, oh, LeBron saw a window open, dog. Y'all done fucked up. I know Warrior fans is like, oh, fuck. I think Tristan made a jumper in that game. That's how crazy it was going, dog. Wait, let me look up the stats. The 2016 NBA Finals.
Lord, how long have we been on here, dog?
3 hours. We about to wrap up after this. My AirPod's about to die.
How you know we be doing this too long?
All right.
Are you tired of being bored at home? Ready to get tired of being bored at home?
Oh, it's ESPN. All right. So Tristan
And go-kart
went
racing.
for...
So click the link to learn to do some go-kart racing. Click the link to learn more.
All right. So Tristan went for fucking 15 in that game. Kyrie gave you 23. Bron 41. Kevin Love 7 with a plus or minus of -6.
All right, we have to do that. We have to do that to Cavs, man.
J.R. Smith had 14. Hey, Mo Williams had 4.
Okay, Mo.
Richard Jefferson, 3 points, plus or minus plus 15.
Guard.
Hey, I think he had a dunk. I think the 3 points was an and 1. I think he had an and 1. Yep. Let me look. He did not make a 3-pointer. He made a field goal and a free throw.
And 1. And 1.
Yep. Hey, Matthew Dellavedova even got points in that game.
Shout out Deli, man. We forget about Deli.
Hey, man, shout out to Channing Frye. He the only one didn't play in game 6. They played James Jones in game 6 of that game. They did not play Channing Frye. What the fuck, man? Because Channing Frye was smacking threes in the series before. Like, why did they do that to Channing? He didn't get a single minute. He was a DNP.
Hey, man, Channing got his ring, man. That's all that matters.
They gave Matthew Dellavedova and James Jones 2 minutes in that game. They couldn't just check in Channing Frye too.
You know, Ty. You know when Ty set the rotation, that's over with. It's over with.
They gave Timothy Mozgov minutes in that series. Were you aware he was still on the team in 2016?
I was. Because that's before he got paid with the Lakers. The Lakers gave him.
Oh
that
yeah, you guys are the one that made that mistake.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I remember that. Dark times.
Yeah, y'all sucked back then. Oh my god, y'all was like contemplating paying Earl fucking Clark back then. That was just rough.
Timothy Mozgov, Luol Deng. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, Luol.
People forget.
Mm-hmm. Y'all suffered a little bit.
I don't.
Hey man, Kyle Kuzma might save this franchise.
Lonzo and Kuz, man. I had hope.
Lonzo and Kuz.
I had real hope.
I was out there praying for the revolution. Lonzo and Kuzma. You know what's going to bring us back to the prominence that Kobe Bryant brought us to? Lonzo Ball and Kyle fucking Kuzma and Brett. What were y'all? Who else was it? He's like Josh Hart.
You know what's crazy? All of them are good to are decent to good players, but
hey man, y'all
Bron
wasn't
or
even
AD.
thinking about Brandon Ingram. Oh shit, Julius Randle.
All-star, all NBA. Julius Randle.
You're young Julius Randle. I feel like Julius Randle, one of the dudes, feel like he been old for like 10 years, but he's not.
When you really think about it, bro, like all the players they drafted, like Julius an all-star, all NBA, Brandon Ingram was an all-star, Josh Hart's a starter, Kuz was a starter, Lonzo was a starter. Like they weren't bad players, they're just not AD and LeBron.
Oh yeah, y'all had my boy Luke Walton as the coach.
Luke Walton.
Y'all went through some coaches, man. Y'all used that Mick Cutcheck picking up
Byron Scott.
Oh my God. It was just the Winning Time season 2 roster up in that point. Oh my God, this team is awful. Oh man, what did y'all have being around in this fucking 2015 season? Brandon Bass, Tariq Black, Anthony Brown, Jordan Clarkson, Roy Hibbert? Is that correct?
Yep. Roy Hibbert.
Roy Hibbert? Larry Nance Jr., Ryan Kelly, Julius Randle, D'Angelo Russell. I remember Robert Sacre got minutes.
I remember that too.
I remember Robert Sacre got minutes. Lou Williams. Forgot he played for the Lakers. Oh,
I forgot he played for the Lakers too.
Nick Young getting minutes.
Yep.
Meta World Peace getting minutes.
Jeremy Lin was on that team?
I think he was.
I don't think he was.
No, that might be the year after. That might be the year after because Boozer was on the team too.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Timofey Mozgov, David Mbawa.
David Nwaba.
Oh, y'all had Thomas Robinson on the team? Did he play?
He got there a little bit.
Oh my God, man. I forgot how sad the Lakers were until LeBron came back. Oh my God.
It was all bad. It was all bad.
Hey man, look, everywhere LeBron's gone, it's gotten significantly better. Like that's the one thing. Like the Cavs before him, the Cavs after him, the Heat before him, the Heat after. Look, say what you want about Bron. Nobody's done what they've done with Bron without Bron since they had Bron. That's a hell of a sentence right there. Y'all had Andrew Bogut on the team?
Yes.
And Brook Lopez?
Yep. What's crazy
and Julius Randle, and
they should have kept Brook. They should have kept Brook, and they should have kept Zubac.
Oh, y'all had Shannon Fry?
Yeah.
What the fuck were y'all doing, dog?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
All right, man. I remember KCP was like a good half for y'all for a little bit. And I remember KCP was kind of integral to that championship team in 2020, right?
He was.
Yeah. Kyle Kuzma, Andre Ingram. Remember that story? That was like the basis of the 2K My Player series for like 3 years is Andre Ingram. He had to play for the fucking Mad Ants because Andre Ingram had a good week of basketball.
He got paid for that week of basketball. Shout out to Andre Ingram.
Yeah. Was he a rookie that year?
Technically, yes.
Andre Ingram was a rookie. He was born in 1985. Hey man. Shout out, they went to American University.
Yeah.
Where is that a real school? Like, that's nuts. But do I got any more super chats? All right, we got one more. Oh no, we got Jesus.
How many we got?
We got 4. All right.
Oh Lord, what we been doing?
we just be rapping, dog. We just be rapping. All right. Ray Rag says, I would never forgive the Cavs for letting Boozer walk. Nothing you had, a team option, not trading for Amari Stoudemire because of JJ Hickson. He was in jail, by the way.
So the Boozer thing wasn't the Cavs' fault. That was because Carlos Boozer's agent at the time was now general manager of the Los Angeles Lakers, Rob Pelinka. And Rob did some not so great business. And that's why Boozer ended up in Utah.
AKA he robbed the blind man.
Yes, that is what he did.
All right, Chris Custafaro says, I remember when I was at the Ravens game in Baltimore, and I was awestruck by the amount of Raven fans being iffy on paying Lamar. I shouldn't be the one telling them that not signing Lamar is a bad idea. Hey man, Raven fans are really acting like we could just let this roll with my guy. What's the guy's name?
Tyler Huntley.
Oh, Tyler Huntley. Yeah,
Pro Bowler. The Pro Bowler.
Pro Bowler Tyler Huntley.
Soul Train says it's Twitter, but Baker Bros do hate Myles Garrett and love TJ.
Not touching that.
We gonna
No,
Not touching that. Not touching that one. Not touching that one. Hey, we say a lot of crazy stuff on here. If we say a lot of stuff we probably shouldn't, but I don't want to touch that one because that can only go one way.
That is, I'm not trying to end up in y'all culture wars.
Yeah, man. That can only go one way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna end up on Hannity. All right, feeling dangerously. I don't even think that exists anymore. Oh,
wait, what's this person's name?
Nah, we don't need to do it again. We don't need to do it again.
What's his name? What's super chat?
Huh?
What's the? No, I'm talking about the one you were just about to say.
Dangerous.
Is it feeling dangerous?
Yeah.
Oh, feeling dangerous 113. That's what you talking about.
Oh, I feel like I know what this is about.
No, he had that just a couple years ago. He's a pretty normal super chat.
Okay.
Get off my mans. Yeah.
Don't be saying get off my mans like you don't be purposely antagonizing these people. You be antagonizing our super chatters.
I do not be antagonizing my super chatters, man. I'll just be having conversations with them. Treat them like everybody else. See, if you say I antagonize them, I probably done antagonize you and Curtis at some point during this podcast. Hell, I do it for fun. Y'all out here wearing anime shirts on here, talk about antagonizing anybody. No, I don't fuck with anime. Both of y'all. Curtis got the anime strong in that frame. Get out of here. Act like I don't know I'm being antagonized, but you gonna say I'm antagonizing. Stop it. Don't. What that shirt say? Okay. Yeah. I knew this was coordinated. And by the way, y'all been doing a lot of anime comps on the timeline, and I'm like, okay, they attacking me.
Attacking you because you don't know.
Yeah, I see Curtis's tweets. Whose anime comp is this?
Hey man.
Hey man. I see what's going on here. Nah, y'all not about to do me like that. So feeling dangerously, I will graciously read your super chat now that the disrespect has ended from my co-host today. Hey, QnCOLB. He spelled your name wrong as fuck. And you know what? QnCOLB. That's what it is. Yeah. It's QnCOLB now. He said, hey, QnCOLB and guest.
Damn, yes.
Hey, man.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, we ain't got your name on here, nothing. That's Curtis. By the way, Colb is spelled with the C. It's in the logo right there.
Oh, he did it with the K?
Yeah, he gave you with a K, bro. Colb.
Never mind. You can antagonize him.
Nah, man, he don't mean nothing by it. He just hit the wrong button. All right. Who I look forward to making my Tuesdays the best. I just joined behind on like 3 hours. Well, feeling dangerously. You're going to have an interesting experience reacting to how we reacted to your super chat in about 3 hours. We appreciate you greatly, man. We appreciate you greatly.
We do. We just be playing around. Y'all know that. We just be playing around.
All right. See, now you got Soul Train in here talking about My Hero Academia. This is exactly, we got to put an anime band.
Hey. What'd he say?
He said My Hero Academia for the win.
Yes.
Yu Hakusho, FTW2. What the fuck is he talking about? What y'all got in my chat? Y'all about to get me banned.
Yu Hakusho.
What is this?
See, if you watched it, you will understand, but you won't be watching it.
I don't want to understand.
I'm telling y'all, man. One time, me and Q go do this pod, and he gonna be like, "Nah, man, I definitely just watch random anime, and I love it." I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. He gonna give in at some point. At some point, he gonna give in.
I hate what y'all doing to this chat. Nelson Gonzalez with the $2 super chat says, shout out to My Hero Academia guy. Plus Ultra. What the fuck does that mean?
Yes.
What does that mean?
Yes. Plus Ultra.
What's plus Ultra?
See, if you watched it, you would know.
Is that like the director's cut? Is that the director's cut of this? Is it the one where you get more access to fighters, like Street Fighter? Like what's going on?
You gotta watch it. Watch it.
I watch it, man.
Plus Ultra?
Yeah, watch it. You understand.
Gotta watch it. Gotta watch it.
They gonna come on and cosplay, and Q gonna be so confused.
I don't do it.
No, we're not gonna do that. Too far.
See, that would have
Too far.
confused me. My sister cosplays, so like I know what that whole thing is. I've seen it. I can't be shocked by anything I see in that thing. I seen
Your sister watch anime? Your sister watch
she
anime?
a big anime head. She like all the.
She ain't recommend nothing. She ain't recommend nothing for you to get started with.
She knew this was a losing battle from the start. She was born with me, dog. Like she just, she known me for 28 years. She know I'm not budging on this one.
You gonna budge eventually. They all
And
do.
then she watched like
They
Madoka.
eventually
No, you act like everybody. You think everybody just watching anime?
Everybody do it. Bob's gonna watch this anime.
Yeah. My girl got her mom watching anime now.
You think Jay-Z just be watching anime?
Hey,
babe.
You be surprised. You be
You
surprised.
gotta watch Yu Hakusho. Like, no, it's not happening. Like,
do you just have impressions ready of everybody?
nah, I have a Jay-Z.
No, Q, I really read a study. It said that like 67% of millennials and Gen Zers watch anime. Watch anime when they have free time. I'm like, that.
And you know what? I see it when I have to argue with these motherfuckers on Twitter. And that's why I hate these new motherfuckers. So I hate these new dudes, man. I just had to put bro on my muted words because I'm like, every time I hear a sports take and somebody goes, bro, really? I'm like, I hate you. I hate whoever just did that take, bro. I hate how y'all talk. Like, this clears. I hate y'all. Like, I don't resent it, but I hate it. Like, I get it. Language is gonna move on. How people talk is gonna be different. But I can't stand how these Gen Zs and alphas be out here just speaking. I'll be like, oh my God, I hate how they talk.
We gonna get you to watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure at some point. It's gonna be
That
great.
sound like no, absolutely not.
Come on, man. You actually like it. They got a Jodeci song playing at the end. Come on.
They do have a Jodeci song playing at the end, and it's great.
Well, what
It's great.
Jodeci song is in it? I'll gladly listen to the Jodeci part of it, but I'm not about to watch JoJo plus 10. What the fuck? You got Q to say plus ultra in his anti-anime rant. Love it. Nah, I feel like I'm being bullied right now.
Hey, if y'all in the chat, make sure you clip him saying plus ultra. We need that. The streets need that.
What the fuck is plus ultra, man? Like,
You gotta watch the
am I saying a slur? Like,
Nah, just clip. Make sure y'all clip that one. We need that one.
why am I being clipped? The fuck y'all out here doing, man? It's some weird shit. All right, Ray Rag says Colb in the chat treating Q like a boomer who is learning about their new smartphone. I hate y'all. I hate Gen Z. Nah, man. I like snap music. Okay. R&B.
Oh man.
And Eddie Murphy movies. Y'all making me mad.
Oh.
I'll go to anime rave in Orlando next week.
Ooh,
Bro, can you imagine Q reacting? Bro, see, look, Gen Z. Bro, can you imagine Q reacting to anime on Attack on Titan episode 5?
Oh,
Don't know what the fuck that means. Bro, not gonna be able to sleep. Oh my God, I hate chat.
This is beautiful. This is what we're here for. This is exactly what we're here for.
I just get bullied. Dog.
Hey, yo, Q, watch Attack on Titan.
No.
Watch
Hey,
Attack on
man.
Titan.
Watch it.
Tell us what you think. Tell us what you think.
I will never. Attack on Titan.
Just watch the first episode. That's all you need to watch. Just watch the first
No,
episode.
let him watch Chainsaw Man. That's a good show.
All right, man. What's it on? What's on streaming? Where's it on streaming?
Hulu. It's
Hulu.
everywhere.
It's on Hulu.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Attack on Titan's on Netflix too.
I think I don't have it. I haven't used Netflix in a while. Might be.
I use Netflix all the time.
That's cool. I got both of them. Commercial free. I ain't watching. Q would hate JJBA. What the fuck is that?
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah, okay. I'm not watching that.
I love JoJo. Hey, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, one of my favorite animes. It's hilarious. It's so funny.
It's such a good show. I'll start watching it. It's good. I like it.
Well, this is Curtis's last appearance on the show. You know, we're going to vet these guests because you know what? Every guest that Cole wants to bring on be on some anime shit. JP, now him. Who you got next?
Hey, respect JP, bro. JP was talking about ball.
JP was talking about football. Yeah, JP really good at talking about football. He also talked about the anime.
Hey, a lot of the players that you cover watch anime.
But look, I will recuse myself from that information so I can maintain a level of respect for what these players do out here. But if I found out that Martin Emerson was out here watching My Hero Academia, I would lose faith. I'd be like, what? That can't be how he kicks it. That can't be. Like, you know what? Every player that does shit I don't like, I'm like, they was watching anime. Ronnie Hickman, Greg Newsom, Myles Garrett. Yeah, that's what it was. Everybody that flatlined in that playoff game watched too much anime the day before. I blame that. Myles Garrett was watching that anime. What was he watching? What's the new hot one in the streets?
Hey, that's why everybody be treating you like a boomer because you say like,
because that's
what's hot in the street.
What was this hot new anime in the streets? We need to get Myles Garrett on here and not talk about football and just like have me and him argue about the tenements of watching anime.
Lose?
I would lose, but you know what? It would be the most entertaining Myles Garrett interview you've heard since Mina Kimes had to interview him after that thing. Okay, it would be the most watched. It would be the second most watched Myles Garrett interview of all time.
That's our goal. Get Myles Garrett on here to talk about anime. Oh, I'm sorry. Argue with Q about anime.
Yeah, we're like, hey, Myles. First thing, I'm gonna go to camp. I'm gonna go to camp this year. We're like, Myles, what the fuck is Plus Ultra? You fucking dork. If he doesn't kill me, he might laugh. And then I'm gonna get the interview. Imagine Myles Garrett turning looking at me like a dinosaur from Jurassic Park. Like, I'm like, oh, I'm cooked. I'm gonna just stand real still, hope he can't see me. But all right, man, y'all, we animate out, man. Quincy's an anime boomer. What's JJK hot right now?
Yeah, JJK is hot right now.
Yeah, it is.
Bro, Q watching My Dress Up Darling would be hilarious.
All right, we get into a whole different kind of thing right now.
We good, man.
See, look, I don't. Christian Corley says Myles Garrett loves anime.
Yeah.
You know, that's cool. He also has better interest. You know what I mean? Like maybe once he lets go of the anime, he might be better. You know what? TJ over Myles. TJ don't waste time watching no anime.
That's crazy.
And that's why he's such a playmaker.
That's you done switched up on the whole fan base because of anime.
Yeah. Fucking sacks over pressures. Play Renegade. You did this to yourself, Browns fans. Go bully me for 20 minutes because I don't know none of the shit y'all talk about. And apparently, my audience is a lot of anime fans. I don't know how this happened.
I went in over your fan base, man. Nah. One anime fan at a time.
You know how like Kevin had to make a change
You
from
gonna
Alex
make a
Van Pelt
change? You gonna
because he
make a
didn't
change?
like where the offense was going. I'm like, man, we about to be doing this podcast at a convention if I don't do something quick about this offense, dog. Like,
Hey, we gonna make some real money too.
uh-huh.
You're welcome.
We got to switch this out, you know.
So much money.
Had to
Hey,
put
real
in the
quick,
old
though.
reliable. Hey, G. Bush, come on in. Yes. Have to call the homie. Got to call the homie, man.
Hey, real quick, whoever's in your chat talk about my dress up, darling, you are a sicko. I just want you to know that.
Bro,
You may not know what's going on, but I know what's going on.
I don't know. I don't want to know.
You
don't.
really don't. You
You
really
don't.
don't.
You really don't.
Sounds like some gross shit. So y'all out here bringing all this ungodliness into the chat. Right? Was that you, Curtis, that I asked you? I was like, are there people really like fantasizing about video game characters? And Curtis is like, brother, why?
I'm not gonna say nothing. Not gonna say nothing.
We'll talk about this when we go off air. But I remember I was shocked at the conversation people were having about a video game character. And Curtis informed me that this was not abnormal at all for that community. And I was like, oh, gross. Like, this is why I feel so old sometimes, because I'm just like, you know what, man? I checked out a long time ago on some of this shit. Like,
Hey, man. Lusting after video game characters is where I draw the line. Like,
nah, dog. Look, I turned 25 and decided to just straight up watch nothing but football. Like, that's like, football, family. That's all I mean. So everything else, I'll just be like, all right, man. Like, I'm just looking forward to the spring football season. Everybody be talking about all this other shit, dog. Like,
hey, people who make it to the end of the pod, this is what they love.
yeah. Look, if you make it here, you make it.
You make it here. This is what you came here for.
These are the Pringle crumbs at the bottom of the can. This is the Cheeto dust at the bottom of the bag.
Oh, hey,
The bonus
milk,
fries at the bottom
you
of
know
your
the milk-
McDonald's.
You know the milk when you eat Cinnamon Toast Crunch, the milk at the bottom. This
Yep.
is what you want.
Yep.
This is what you want.
This is the sugar scoops at the bottom of the bowl. Right. It ain't good for you.
But you love it.
Hey, but you keep doing it.
Oh man.
Oh, okay. I just got an idea for what that man just made me say. All right, ban him from chat.
What was it?
No,
What was it?
But that's
What was
gonna be it for QnCOLB. Y'all gonna have a great day. Enjoy these while they still up, y'all. Got somebody in here asking about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. All right, get the fuck out of here. JRPGs now.